So Luke says, Pa, what's fucking? He's, well, son, I'll show you. He said, Ma, get over here. Ma comes over. He bends her over a rain barrel, lifts up her skirt, pulls down his skivvies. He drops his drawers, pulls down his skivvies, points and says, see that hole in Ma? You watch me. He goes to it. All of a sudden, Zeke comes over and says, Luke, we got to help Ma. Pa's beating her up. Luke says, no. They's fucking. And his brother says, fucking, what's fucking? And Luke pulls down his pants and pulls down his skivvies and points and says, see that hole in Pa? Watch me.
All right. Stay on the line for 1 second, Jackie.
All right.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody.
You're supposed to do it in a tune, like good morning, good morning. Do you want to do a little Debbie?
What?
You know.
I don't know. That's why I said what.
Yeah, what's her name? Debbie Reynolds?
Oh, is that who sings that? Good morning thing?
Good morning, good morning.
God.
You don't feel Debbie Reynolds like Eric does?
Well, he doesn't do that every day.
Yeah.
But no, no. That's Eric's thing, and I don't sing.
It's a little. You sing.
No.
Oh
no.
What did you sing the last time when Danielle was here? Didn't she make you?
She did.
What did you sing?
I don't know. I blocked it out.
Some song that.
Some song
had. I don't know. Had something to do with a pool movie. What was it?
What?
Was it Yeah, it was like some Eric Clapton song or something.
No.
What was it?
It was Bad to the Bone.
Ha. Oh, I even know who it is.
That is nothing.
Good guy. George Thorogood.
Thurgood Marshall.
No.
No?
No. George Thorogood.
Thorough.
Thorogood.
George Thorogood.
Thorogood. Okay.
George Thorogood and the Delaware Destroyers. Are you getting... Oh, you're not on there yet, huh?
On what?
I'm not seeing any comments.
I'm not seeing comments.
I'm not seeing anything. I don't know if it's my iPad or...
Okay, let me look.
Or there's just no comments coming in. I don't know.
I will look.
So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Knock 'em Dead Comedy Radio Show, coming at you live from Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown, New York, right here on govsradio.com. The world-famous Governor's Comedy Club. Speaking of Governor's Comedy Club, oh, there's a comment from me. I didn't write that.
No.
You did?
I did.
Speaking of Governor's Comedy Club and govsradio.com, I don't know if I'm speaking prematurely or what, but we ran it by one of the big decision makers here at Governor's that we may but alter the name of the radio station. Mm-hmm. Because you hear govsradio.com. If you're not in the comedy world and you're just in the regular public and you're not in the New York area, if you're in the New York area and you hear I'm going to Governor's, you know that's the comedy club. And maybe, even the tri-state area, maybe even. But,
Yeah, absolutely.
But the there's something flying around. But if you're out in, say, California, or we have people like Quinn who's in another country, although Quinn probably knows what it is because he's in the comedy world. But
Well, only because he travels to New York. That's it. He wouldn't know about it. He wouldn't know about it if he just did stand up in Canada.
no, well that's what he does.
I know, but he comes here too.
Yeah, but
So he knows it because he comes here.
yeah.
Hello,
All
Will.
right, well, let's see what Will has to say about this.
Okay.
Well, our question is if we're saying that
Did you start yet?
yeah,
Yeah, just a few minutes
It's-
ago.
it's 11:06. We start at 11.
Ooh, he
Oh, he brought the guitar!
I'm shy.
Ooh, just put it here, and then if you just look like cool guy
I
next
didn't
to a
wanna leave
guitar,
it
it's
in the
fun
car.
because it gets hot.
It's gonna warp in there. Yeah. If you don't have to play if you don't wanna.
Nuts.
You don't have to play if you don't want. I'm just gonna.
If you could actually push it all the way out there, that'd be great. Then we can get a new desk that works for everyone. Just push the whole desk
Will this
out
thing
into
move?
the trash. It will move, yeah.
I mean the desk, the counter.
So we're talking about Governor's Comedy Club, and so we're debating on whether I'm saying that if you're in comedy but not from New York, you have probably heard of Governors. If you're in the comedy world, like you do stand up, you've probably heard of Governors.
I think if you're a headliner, yeah. If
Yes.
you're someone like me, no.
No,
I wouldn't think so.
you wouldn't. All right, but you're a good example of this because you're a good comic, but you're also a student. Like you do your research, you check, you know the history of comedy.
Yeah,
You've been schooled on it.
yeah.
So you don't think a guy like you, say out in California, who probably looks up where Eddie Murphy got his
Oh,
roots,
yeah.
stuff like that,
Yeah,
or if you're watching YouTube video, let me check out this guy Darren Dillon, who is local and or Anthony Rodeo, who's moving their way up.
Right.
Oh yeah, there's clips from that place, Governors. You don't think
Yeah.
that's the case?
I think
No.
so, but I think I don't think on and it's not a shot at all at the clubs.
No,
at
of
all.
course
I
not.
think
Right.
I think that if you're researching where someone got their start, I think most of the time it's in the city. Like most people, if it's Sebastian Maniscalco or
Sure.
Jim Gaffigan or someone not from New York City, if you look at any of the Boston comics, most of the time you hear that they were at whatever club in Boston. You don't hear about the one in the suburbs that maybe that is where they really did get their start and got their following. Sometimes on the bios you only hear about the big city ones.
Okay.
Or you just say it, like you just say, "Oh, they got their start in Boston," and that'll include everything. Or even
Yeah.
if they did get their start in Governors, if you know the area, you'd be like, "Oh, Governors." But if you're in California, you don't say, "Oh, Governors."
Right. Yeah, but
Yeah.
don't forget though. I'm talking about comedians. I'm not talking about the general public. I'm talking about comedians that are
Oh.
really trying to.
Oh,
That are
Like, do their
again,
research.
Yeah, do their research. Try to school themselves as they should, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Try to learn the craft. Try to learn the history of
Yeah.
how where it all came from, how it's all working, who was here before you. Because a guy like Quincy Martin, who's up in Canada, he knows Governors, but like Sally said, he has he does come
he
down.
works
here.
in New York City,
He
so
does
he
his due
knows.
diligence.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for.
The reason why
term
it
I'm
came
looking
up
for.
is what you missed is like with a comedy place, it is local. You can get people from other places to come to your
Right.
comedy place, but a radio station can go all over the world. So
This is international. This place.
yeah, so as we're starting to get this radio
Big time.
going, we don't want to call it Gov's Radio because it sounds like it's like a political show.
Right. If you're not in New York,
Oh, yeah.
you don't know the connection to this
Yeah.
club. Yeah, I know there's something flying around. You don't know the connection when you hear Gov's Radio. You don't make the connection to the club. Maybe even some people in New York don't make the connection either because they don't know it. They don't know what Gov's Radio. I would think they probably think
Yeah.
it's something political or
Right.
government related.
Right.
So we proposed
Like it's a mix of like Cuomo, Jesse the Body Ventura.
exactly.
Another one.
Exactly. Al D'Amato.
He was a senator.
Yeah.
But they're the first two that came to mind. George Pataki, he's been on here.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's just like that.
Well, we did.
Tom Keene.
We
So we were thinking
Tom
before we got
Keane
like
from
any
New
like
Jersey.
Hello,
you know
I'm Governor Tom Keene.
before we got like the letterhead going and everything like all set in place, we were thinking, Governor's Comedy Radio instead of just Governor's Radio.
well, what happened?
What about like Long Island Comedy Radio?
Well, no, because we don't want to just.
Is there something else? Oh, like
Well, because it's international, we don't
Pigeonhole
want to
yourself.
just keep it Long Island. We enjoy the Long Island flavor, the local flavor, but we're trying to get it bigger to a national audience, and that's why.
how about Island Comedy?
Well, here's what happened.
Miss Cleo could have her own show. It's the Island Comedy, boy. The callers don't lie. Now let me tell you. Okay, we have Joseph from Philadelphia. Yeah, man. All right. No, the tarot cards say y'all not gonna be here much longer. All right, get the scratcher and you'll see you on Lottery Dream Home with David Bromstead. Wagwan.
Just
Welcome
like
to the
that.
Ganja Hour. Ganja Hour. So we were. So what we did, we did the research on this studio here, and it turns out that when it did first open 2014, I believe it was, they actually did call it Governor's Comedy Club Radio or Gov's Comedy Club
Just
Radio.
Governor's Comedy Radio.
No. That's not what it was called.
That's not what it was called.
But all three clubs are, even though there's the Brokerage and McGuire's, they all still fall under the umbrella
Governors.
of Governor's Comedy Club.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
if you go to buy tickets, you
Right.
go to Governor's, Comedy Club.
I think I also think the laugh stub,
Gov's Comedy Club Radio. Is that what you said?
but I think it's also
No.
like Gov's Tickets. I
So
think for all of
Gov's
them,
Comedy Club
the link
Radio?
to buy tickets are all I think like Gov's Tickets or
Right.
tickets.gov or
Yeah, but again, that's but you have people. You don't have people from say California, going to, looking to buy tickets at Governor's,
Yeah.
so they can get away with that. So in doing my research, and it's still I found it on the internet. They actually made this Gov's Comedy Club Radio, and that's on the internet. That's where I found it. So it's called govsradio.com, but this actually says Gov's Comedy Club Radio. So we have suggested that we go back to that. And they
Gov's
seem,
Comedy Club.
They didn't seem to hate it, so that's
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
So we're going to try and go back to that. We think because again that's better. That's a better at least gives a better idea
Yeah.
of what this radio station is. Even though some of the shows may not be comedy, like we have a music show.
Right.
We had a political show at some point, but when that you never know if something like that can come back. I wouldn't call Valentina's show a comedy show. It's just more like a feel-good talk show. But
Well, I
it
feel
still
like
gives
the
you an
sta-
idea of what the
I feel like
comedy
station,
show
though,
the station
more,
is.
It's more of a it's just such a variety. It's all
Right.
it is like a variety radio show.
Right. And it's still, again, just gives you at least the idea, that's what that is. It's not
Yeah.
government. It's not Warren
Yeah,
Haynes.
we just wanted to
Right.
stay away from,
No, you didn't get
political
that?
stuff.
I got
You
it.
got that? You just
Yeah.
didn't laugh. Sorry.
I was listening to Sally.
Thank you, Will.
Hello, Darren Dillon. Hello, Rich Rita.
I missed their show last night.
What,
Darren
Darren,
Dillon and George Gallo.
It was, they were fun. They were
For a
fun.
show.
Tim Gage stopped in a couple times.
Tim Gage is a great guy.
Oh, I love Tim Gage.
I love him.
Went to the same high school.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, St. Anthony's.
Wow. Why are
Yeah.
you laughing?
No, because I was thinking it
I
wasn't
saw the
until
joke brewing.
No, because when I had my show, he came on one time. It was great. It was a nice surprise. Tim came in, and he came in a couple times. It was great. He's such a
He's
nice
really
guy.
giving with his
I
time.
would-
He's
Yeah.
one of those that just actually will come in and say, hey, and he's not doing it to get on the air because he
Yeah.
doesn't want that.
Anyone that goes on my show is not benefiting from being on the show.
Yeah, he just
And so I appreciate
he
it.
actually generally wants to help you out. He doesn't want you to
Right.
know he wants to help you
Right,
out.
right.
But he really in his heart wants to help you
I
out.
would say of all the comedians, he's probably been the most supportive
Yeah.
of Gov's radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember after I think the second time he was on, I think he was only on maybe 3 times, but the second time he was on, Nick DiPaolo was in the room. Tim was performing with Nick. So I got to talk to him. I was like, listen, I really appreciate it. And he goes, "Oh no, don't worry." He's like, it's good stuff. And I forgot how we got on the topic, and I mentioned we mentioned St. Anthony, and he was like, "Yeah." And then there's just
You bonded.
Yeah.
I think you go to anyone that goes to the
It's
same
true.
high school, doesn't matter
It's
if
true.
it's a year
because you were
between each
raised
other or
by the
not.
same people. You were raised by
lot of-
teachers. You were raised
He's
by
a
the
little
same
older
people.
than I am. A lot of the teachers that he had, I had. They were still there.
Yeah.
When I had, so it was funny just to exchange story, and it wasn't bad mouthing, but it was just there's that bond.
You were bad mouthing.
It was
no,
home.
but like if you
yeah.
went to
That nun was
if you went to
hot.
Hicksville High School,
I did.
And-
Whoa!
it's almost
It's
like
amazing
I watched
how
the
he just
show.
nailed that.
It's like I watched the show. Wow.
Mind
But if someone's like class of 2000 or class of 82
Mm-hmm.
or class of 91, like there's a bond that you guys have that even
Right.
if things
Right.
have changed, there's still things that
We've
Well,
actually
right.
talked
The
about
same.
that. We've talked about that a lot.
Right, because
yeah.
same like you and Tim. Sally's a lot older than me. So we talk a lot about various teachers, and she just got that. Did you see it? Took a minute. Did you see that? She was just looking at me, and then
she's
all of a sudden-
older. That's the
Well, right, and get a little
and
slower with that.
also
yeah.
she did spend time in California, so she still has that West Coast delay.
That,
Absolutely right.
yeah.
She's 3 hours behind.
The hippy dippy still in my head,
So around 2 o'clock, she'll be like, "Oh,
and then I'll slap you in the face.
exactly."
You won't know why.
Oh man,
But it is true. Like it's so funny. Like I'll meet someone that is from Hicksville, and I know I could just hit the ground running, talking
Yeah.
with them. Like I don't have to have that like polite first conversations. You could just go right into it. So it's probably the same thing with Tim.
Rich Rita says, "I heard the name WPLJ is available. If we wanted to change the name of the station, that's good." Rich Rita, I actually spent some time with Rich last night, and I don't know Rich well, but he was picking on Graz a little bit, and
Oh, yeah?
we were having some laughs. Yeah,
I met Rich a couple. He's a very nice guy. and
Yes.
very funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I told him he's got to get in here. Gina Pacifico Brown, good morning. Jeff Bosey had some kind words as well last night. Thank you. Good morning, Gina. Ken Pichelle says, another successful Jenga of 2 cars, and we're off to college. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Have a good weekend. I
So-
guess the kids.
I guess
Yeah,
so,
no, my
yeah.
nephew's leaving today. He's going to University of West Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
and
Where's he from, up here?
yeah, originally my oldest sister and my brother-in-law are from Bethpage. I spent time living with my oldest sister when we were kids,
No.
and so her and my brother-in-law when they got married, they lived in Bethpage, not too far from us. Had their 3 kids up here. My brother-in-law got a job. They moved to North Carolina when my nephew was 4. He wasn't in pre-K yet, I don't think. They moved to North Carolina. They were there for like 10 years, and then my brother-in-law got another job. They moved to Virginia, so they've been there for the last few years.
Oh, so he's not going too far from home.
He's a couple hours away. He's
Oh, it
about
is.
4 or 5 hours away from
Oh.
where they live outside the D.C. area.
Okay.
And West Virginia it's about, I think it's like a 4 or 5 hour trip. But I know my nephew Brady isn't watching, but like this kid, he's such a. I'm not just saying because he's my nephew, but he's the oldest of like me and my brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
He's the oldest of all the kids that we have, and the day he was born, they found he had a hole in his heart, and I remember like we were just like first of all we were so psyched that my sister had a boy. We were like, yeah, even though it's not the same last name. We're like, yes, we have like. Like we were all fired up that like we have a nephew. Like it was
Right.
so. Even if we had a niece, we were holy cow, we have a nephew. And they found out he had a hole in his heart, and I remember being like devastated and like, are you kidding me?
Send him back.
But like no,
He's
but
no good.
but
You're
like,
like, "No, I
but
have a hole in
not
my
even
heart."
but not even imagining what my sister and my brother-in-law were going through.
Right.
Sure.
And they were just like, no, we'll monitor it, and then
Yeah, it sounds awful, but it's really not. A lot of times you just fix it with medicine. It's like the weirdest thing. Yeah.
Well, they monitored it and made sure that it just grew, like it stayed proportionate to his body. But they were like, originally it was like we're gonna have to operate at like 6 months old. Then it was
Wow.
like they watch every month. They're like, all right, well, around 2. It wasn't until he was like 7 or 8 he had open heart surgery.
Oh wow.
And
Open
they
heart
fo-
surgery, but it's
Yeah.
already open. There's already a hole there.
Yeah. So they found when they opened it.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's a
He
little.
looked like he's going to hit me. Did you see that?
No. No, but it turned out that when they did the surgery, they found there was another hole that went undetected.
Oh.
And they
moly.
said if they hadn't found this one when they did the APGAR test,
Nice.
he would have been dead. That hole that they found actually saved him
Right.
because of the other hole they would.
I didn't
Wow.
know that was. I didn't know that you could have more than one hole.
I
just-
had no idea. I mean,
So-
other than the ventricles and.
Did it change
Kubba-dabba-dabs.
anything from like 0 to 7? Was he like lightheaded or more tired than
No.
other kids, or
No,
nothing was
but-
a big deal?
No, but they said that people our age, the hole that they found, they're like it was so typical, but like any kid born like prior to like 2000 or in the 90s or whatever, that like it wasn't until around puberty that like if a kid collapsed while they were running,
Oh, yeah, you'd hear
when
those
it would
kids,
that's
you
when
know?
it would go
Yeah.
detected. But most of those kids survived, so they became more aware of what was causing this and that it was something from birth. So they intensified, I guess, the APGAR tests when kids were born to see that. So they found it, but like this whole time being like I mean, I can't imagine the anguish that they went through being like, holy cow, like, and there's the concern, and then to find out during the surgery, like,
There's
wait, what now?
more.
That's
Right.
something else, you know?
you don't understand a lot of what parents go through until you have kids
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Then you think
you
back.
think
Oh,
back.
if that was my kid, holy
Yeah.
crap! Yeah.
And my sister Erin, she just posted yesterday how like he's all packed, they have everything ready to go, and she goes, for many moms, this is the hardest goodbye.
It
Different.
is.
She
Yeah.
goes, but she's like, I said the hardest goodbye, when
Oh,
he
I'm
was
gonna
like 7 years
cry,
old.
yeah.
So, but it was like it was like emotional to read. And my
Yeah.
sister's not like a
Right.
mush, but like it was
Yeah.
it really puts in perspective.
Absolutely.
How she was like the hardest goodbye was like holding his hand as he went to the ER and then finally being told you have to let go. He has to go in there and not knowing.
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
have to
what was
sit out
up.
there and wait.
Yeah, it's also an FU to all the parents, crying. Oh, my kid's going to college. It's like, yeah, been there, done that.
I can top that.
Yeah.
Hey, you're live on the Knock 'em Dead Comedy Radio Show. Who'd this be?
Hello, Eric. Hi, Tony.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
Hey, Dennis.
How you guys doing?
What do you got going on this weekend, Dennis?
Nothing really. I can't wish my birthday is Tuesday.
I know you're getting ready for that,
Oh, yes. I'm going to have a blast.
but you're not having any birthday celebrations over the weekend.
No, not really. Nope.
So you're waiting for the big day on Tuesday.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, be sure to call in on Tuesdays, and we'll sing to you.
Oh, no problem. I'd like to give a shout out to my best friend there.
All right.
Also, I'd like to give I'd like to give him. I also like to give another kind of shout out to my best friend, Felix the chef.
Oh, Felix the chef is your best friend now. Wow. Well,
Yep.
we'll have to get him to bring you some food.
Oh, he is. He's bringing me surprise too. So I don't know what it is yet.
Ah, excellent. All right. Thanks, Dennis.
You don't worry, guys. You're my friends too. Also, don't worry about that, guys.
All right. That makes us happy now. Good.
Happy birthday,
Yeah,
Dennis.
don't worry about it. You'll always be my friend. Ain't like I said, All Girls Radio, I love it. I don't care what nobody says. You
All
guys
right.
are awesome.
You're the best, Dennis. Thanks, pal.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you too. Have a good weekend, guys.
See ya. Thanks.
you guys.
You
Bye.
too, pal.
Love
Bye
you
bye.
guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Dennis Murphy, our friend Dennis Murphy, just like Tim Gage, so supportive of our station.
And with your family, like living down south, isn't it like weird to have like for me, like I have a sister who lives in Raleigh, and so when it's weird having my nieces and nephews have like North Carolina accents. It's like
Yeah.
so weird. Like I remember the first time I went and I was visiting her family, and I think one of them, the Stephanie was like 5 or 6, and she's calling from the other room, and I hear, "Mama," and I'm like, "What the heck was that?"
Yeah,
My
yeah.
sister was just cracking up. She's like, "I know, I can." She goes, "Trust me, I didn't teach her, Mama."
my brother, I have a brother and my sister-in-law. They live in North Carolina, not too far from Raleigh.
Yeah.
And but their kids were born
Yeah.
and raised
Right.
in North Carolina. It's funny though, like even I mean it's really it's not so much their accent, like even in Virginia, like my sister's kids, they pronounce words how you're supposed to pronounce them.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, but it's funny to hear like they have an expression, I might could. Like, yeah, I might could do that. You know, like there's certain expressions that they have that it's funny, but like my brother's daughters are just sweethearts. And
Is that proper English?
no, it's an
I
expression.
might could. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like
so it's an
use, y'all, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do that here either. Well, use some
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, but it's also cool when all the kids are together, which is rare that like our kids are all together. But whenever we get chances to see, when my kids get to see the other kids. I mean, they FaceTime a lot, especially on birthdays. And it's great where like I'll be like, all right, it's my niece's birthday. All right, little FaceTime. And then eventually my son, who's shy, he's going to be 5, next thing you know, he takes the phone, or my daughter will take the phone and they walk away
Right.
to FaceTime.
That's cool.
It's so cool that like, and I know it means a lot to my parents to see that like their grandkids, like that cousins are so, because my mom was an only child, but was very close with all her first cousins. So she loves seeing like how the cousins are. And even over the weekend, I went to my first cousin Denise. Her 2 sons are their birthdays are close together, so they had a birthday party. So we drove to Jersey, and my uncle, my first cousin. There's 5 of them, and there's 5 of us. So it was cool to see my cousins. That the oldest one is like 10 years younger than me.
Yeah.
But it's cool to see like they're 10 to 15 years younger, 20 years younger. But it's also cool like there's just a bond you have with cousins that you don't have to see each other all the time. But like when you do see each other, like it's just
it's
like
just
the Olive
it's
Garden.
comfortable. It's like the Olive Garden.
without shitty Italian food.
Right.
They're not as no, they're not.
See,
as fun.
now you're like all Irish, right? Like I think
I'm a mix. I'm mostly Irish, but
I'm mostly
also
Irish,
German,
and so the Olive Garden
English.
is just amazing to me.
Yeah.
Like you say that to Italian people, they look
Well, it's
at you
funny.
like you're crazy.
My mom might be watching, but it's safe to say like I grew up with an Irish woman cooking Italian food.
Yeah.
But like I loved like even as a kid, chicken parm is even no matter where we go, like any Italian restaurant, I always order chicken parm, not because it's one of the easiest things to cook, but like I love it. And also I grew up on where it was grilled, like whatever, like baked chicken with Melton was, because my parents were like Weight Watcher for lifers since the early 80s. So a lot of the food I grew up on was not, this is eggplant parm. It was, this is 2 points.
Yeah.
So what is
That's
that?
so true.
All right, here's dinner. What's that? It's only 4 points a serving.
Mom, what's for dinner tonight? Can I have 3 points for dinner tonight?
I hate Weight Watchers because they go by how tall you are and where you're like starting, and I'm like a dwarf, so I get like 11 points. Like that's a
11?
bagel. That's a bagel. You
Yeah.
know.
What is
And then
that?
I'm done for the day.
Yeah, what does that mean? Why would you get
Well, I
11
think
points?
Because I'm
they've
so
eased up on
short.
that.
Like,
They've
if-
eased
What does
up
that
on
mean?
stuff,
if
though.
you're like if you're like a 6-foot guy that's
Yeah.
like 250 pounds and you're starting out, they're gonna give you like
Up to 50? No.
like what, like 27 points or
Dyslexic.
25 points
I'm
to
way
start out
dyslexic.
with. But if you're like this tall,
funny.
they give you like nothing.
Yeah.
I
And
didn't
also
hear
based on
anything
your,
I
but
said
based
because you
on your
guys are
age
just
too.
talking
No, I
over
got
me.
it. No, I
Based on
heard
your-
you. I just
Alright.
don't. I
But
still don't
based on
get
your
it.
age too.
Because
That's another thing.
Like here.
But
What?
your age too, and your
Yeah.
activity. If
Right.
if you live a sedentary life or if you're
No, no.
active.
No, I don't get it because I don't understand what the age has to do with it. I don't understand why you're saying you get 11 points
11
and a bagel because like why would they do that? Because you still have if you have
Well,
11 points.
the purpose is you're not gonna
Yeah,
like,
I'm not
you would
supposed to
split
eat
it
a
up.
bagel.
you're not gonna eat a bagel and say that's your meal. Kind of like
Right.
like the idea of deal a meal years ago at Richard Simmons. It was like, you have to have fruits and vegetables and stuff. But what they did was they modified it over the years that certain meat or certain ways it's prepared will not cost you points because you have the idea of Atkins, keto, zones, every type. They all go around the same philosophy. You have to watch your portion size. You have to limit the intake of certain calories, but you have to eat enough calories that your body can have the energy to burn stuff off. Even on The Biggest Loser years ago, even though it's kind of like several months of like crash dieting and massive exercise, in which many of them can't continue that.
Right.
A lot of it goes down to when they realize they're not losing any more weight. It's not that they're plateauing because you have to at some point intake more, a lot of calories so that you can, but you have to like eat more to lose more. In a sense, not in a
Sometimes,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes you just have to
anorexic way.
switch it up.
Or bulimic way.
Did they
whichever.
ever find him, Richard Simmons?
Yeah, I think they did, and he was. I think they just noted it was just a skeleton with a perm. I think he was like he took a turn for the worse. He was like there was a thing where they thought he was like being held captive.
Right, that's
in
what I'm
his
saying.
house.
Like
Yeah.
I never heard what the outcome of that was.
I have I don't know. He didn't pass away, but I think they eventually, after like a few days, I think they had somebody come in like a health check or something.
And he was just what, hanging out in his house? Like,
I think,
what's
no, I
wrong?
think he was there, but like emaciated.
Oh,
like-
seriously? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean even his little nut hugger shorts were baggy on him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I met him, and he was
loved you.
just like that, like he is on TV. This wasn't a public thing. I in the late '80s, early '90s, I worked at Publishers Clearinghouse, and he was having a business meeting.
You were the guy that blew up the balloons when Dick Clark showed up to their door with the
No.
check.
I was the guy that crashed their trucks when I was making deliveries for them. I had several accidents there. I don't know. It was just, a stroke of weird luck.
One like roll down a hill and into something else too.
I did. I parked the truck, and I put it in gear, and I put the emergency brake up. But stupid me, I should have put it because it was on a hill.
But you had cut the brakes.
I had put it. I should have put it in
Standard,
reverse.
So he should have put it in reverse.
I should have
Oh,
put it in
yeah, yeah.
reverse. The emergency brake did cut out. So, but because it wasn't in reverse, the thing rolled down the hill. Total 3 cars. 2 of them were brand new. I'll never forget that.
So you open up the side of the van, you gave him the big check. You're like, here, this will cover it.
Yeah. I was going to deliver this, but since I'm stuck waiting for the police to show up, here you go.
So Richard Simmons is coming in for a business meeting with Publishers Clearinghouse.
Mm-hmm.
And, the place is all abuzz. Richard, and honest, I'm like, all right, great. I was in my early 20s, didn't give a rat's ass, but...
Yeah.
But I see him, the limo pulls up, he gets out of the van, he's got the short shorts, he's got the sparkly tank top. I'm like, I thought for sure it would be, collared shirt and jeans, like this.
Right.
And he gets out, and there's a bunch of steps before you get to the door.
I think it's just I think he's a personality more than.
Yeah.
I don't think that's how he is at home.
But that's what I'm saying. This
Yeah.
wasn't a public,
Yeah.
appearance where he's signing autographs. So I thought for sure this would be like a low key thing.
Yeah.
He would be in normal clothes and just walk normal.
Yeah.
I think he wouldn't have turned it on.
Right.
But he comes in, and so I had to go. We had several buildings all like in one little area, but so I was in that building, and I didn't even know. I don't know if this was even allowed or how this happened, but there were a ton of people in the lunchroom, like all gathered to see him. So so somebody had said to him, "There's people in there. They're all
Is the
excited."
Little Mermaid calling you? Sound like Under the Sea.
Now who's not listening?
Well, it was my child.
So
Sorry, I dropped my kids off to the ferry today to go to their dad's for the weekend. So I just want to make sure they're okay.
they're okay.
They're okay.
They're okay. So he walks into the cafeteria and he's grabbing some people. He's like lifting them up and hugging them. I was like, what the hell?
He has that kind of strength to pick somebody up.
He did. He picked up one lady. Yeah, and he was hugging. He was just like you see on TV. And he can't. So as he's leaving the cafeteria, I was walking past the cafeteria, so we kind of like almost did bump into each other. So, oh hi! I'm like, hi, how you doing? And but I get this like
The limp wrist.
but
Yeah.
it was clammy and sweaty. I didn't even hold back. I went.
Did you go? Ew.
I did. I went
Yeah.
like
I can see you
right in
going,
front of him.
"Ew."
I mean, it was disgust like a damp, wet sponge. Like it was disgusting. I was like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? And he said, oh, bye everybody, I'm going to my meeting. I was like, what?
It was like a cold, wet sock out of the dryer.
Dryer. Worse.
That was like
No,
stuck. It was stuck inside the the what is it, like
The
the rubber
sheet.
washer?
Yeah,
No,
like
I'll-
when you wash a sheet and your sock gets stuck in the sheet.
No, it was worse. I'll tell you what it felt like. It felt like
A sardine.
you're almost like a sardine. All right, I was gonna say your underwear on a 100-degree day when it's all hot and sweaty and you're taking them off,
Ew.
like that wet, sweaty, damp, hot.
Hold on a second. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
accurate.
just like Richard Simmons. Yeah, it was awful. But where in Bethpage? I used to live on South Windhorst.
Get out of here. Oh, so on the Plainhead side. I grew up
Yes.
on Broadway, just north, a couple blocks north of the Tower Wire, like where Motor Lane, where Motor Lane is.
Yes.
So if you came around, North Windhorse was right behind me.
Yep. I was on
That's where I
South.
grew up.
Okay, so yeah, I was right around the block.
Yeah. When did you grew up there? When
no,
did you?
no, I only lived. I had an apartment there.
I had friends that lived on South Windhorse or
Russo.
or Herman. I forget. Is there a South Herman behind? The block behind you would be
think-
Herman then.
I think
Herman
so.
Avenue.
You go around, North Windhorse. You go around the bend.
And then Broadway starts. Right?
No, I'm saying if you
Yeah,
go down Broadway,
Yeah.
you go around the bend.
Yeah.
Um,
You make a left on is it not Wilson? Wilson I think is to the right. Before the water tower
yes.
field.
I'm saying if you go all the way down, you make the left. That's the only way you can go. You're going all the way down Broadway. You go.
Yeah.
It turns into North Windhorse, doesn't it? Doesn't it turn into
If you
it?
take all the way to the end, it hooks around.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. And
Oh,
then
get outta here.
And that becomes South Windhorse, and that
Yeah.
I was just a few houses in after the bend.
Oh, get out! My friend of my parents, my parents knew them forever. The Fazios. They had a house. They had a like a wide high ranch. If you went all the way around as Broadway curves,
Yeah.
they were like the only house that was flush on that curve.
I think I remember the house, but no, I didn't know them.
They were very nice people.
It was a great neighborhood. And
we looked
really
at a
nice
house. We looked at a house there. We've been in our house about 6 years. My wife and I. We looked at a couple houses over there.
Yeah, it's really nice back there. I liked
Yeah,
it.
it's
I liked it
quiet.
a lot. Yeah, and
But-
in fact, we were just talking about it the other day. When I lived over there, we went right on the corner. It's like a 7-Eleven type place called. Well, it was called Kevin's Corner. I don't know what it's called now.
It's still Kevin's Corner, but
It
that's
says
so
that. The
small.
sign's there.
Now it says it makes old Vegas look like New Vegas.
Right.
It's now just a vape
But
shop.
we say it because, like, your brother, like, my son's name's Kevin. So we're like, look, it's your corner.
Yeah.
But I went in there once when I was living over there, and I'm buying whatever I'm buying. There was a Middle Eastern guy behind the counter.
Well, the original owner was Kevin, who was
Yeah.
he was half Irish and half Indian.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so his family, a lot of his family were
Oh.
the original. Run, I don't know if he or his family still own it, but I remember when it first opened, it was the Dairy Barn when I was a kid.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
It was a Dairy Barn, and then it became like a Fabric Bonanza
Oh.
and something else. Before it was a Dairy Barn, it was a 7-Eleven.
Oh, it was.
Before
Okay.
that, I think it was an Arby's.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going way back. That's going early 70s or mid 70s. I
Right.
think it was a 7-Eleven. We moved there in 79. I think it was still a 7-Eleven.
So I was in there buying whatever I'm buying, and a guy comes behind me and he just yells out to the guy. He says, "You got any cheese? I can't find any cheese." The guy behind the counter goes, "Cheese?" The guy's like, "Yeah, cheese." He goes, "Don't know cheese." So I did just that. I immediately started giggling.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Cheese? Don't know cheese." It was like a bad Abbott and Costello routine. They just kept repeating it. The guy's like, "Cheese?" The guy, "Don't know cheese. Don't know." Like, you could see it in his face. Like, he never heard this word before.
Yeah.
So the guy just got so fed up. He goes, "Fucking cheese!" Like that. And then that was it. I lost it. I'm laughing at both of them. I'm looking. I was hysterical. And the guy he just kept saying it. "Don't know cheese. Don't know." I was
Yeah.
like, what the
I
hell?
mean, the only reason I think people go in there is for cigarettes, vape stuff, and to play quick draw.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the quick draw money is what got them the ability to fix it up because that place was run down. That place was a dump. When I was a kid, it was like you either went there was Bob's Deli across the street where there's like that little brick strip mall right there. My next door neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
My next door neighbor, when I was a kid, he owned that deli. It was Bob's Deli, and that's where we always went to get food.
Right.
Then he had 3 kids that were me and my sister's age, so that was like it was a treat, like maybe once a
hang
week or
out.
something. Yeah, and like after school we went to St. Martin's, so we would walk. It's a 3-block walk. We'd walk. They go, "Oh, we're gonna say hi to our dad." Next thing you know, they're like, "Here, you want to take a candy bar?" I'm like,
Nice.
"Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
baby.
know? But it was Bob's Deli. It was a salon. It was like a hair salon. There was a trophy shop, and I want to say there was something else there. It was like 3 or 4 stores, and I don't know why. From what I understand, the reason that they still have not done anything with it is because somebody said that it's I think it's a Hasidic or Orthodox Jewish guy that owned it, and I think he passed away.
Oh, boy.
And his wife, I could totally be wrong, and I'm not saying it to just my ignorance. somewhere in their faith, women are not allowed to do the business.
Oh,
So,
so she can't even sell it?
I don't think in their religion she's allowed to do anything business related because it's not she's not a male.
So they just
So it just sits there.
So you can't do business, but you can lose money.
That's the thing. I don't know how they're losing. Like I don't know how they don't just auction it off, or how like
Or just
they're not making money off of it. It's just
right. That's what I'm
sitting
saying. So you're losing money. So
there. Yeah.
you think then the husband must have, if he owned a business, he must have had a lawyer. So you think the lawyer can handle it or
Right.
something?
Didn't he see
Right.
dying coming up? You know,
It's got to
What?
be. It's got to
Oh.
be in some kind of will and testament or something.
Maybe he didn't see dying coming up. Maybe
everyone
he
should
was.
see it's coming up
But it's a shame though because
How?
that like
because everybody dies. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
if you're, if a,
all the time.
I walk out of here, I get hit by a bus.
Cycle of life.
Oh,
am
my
I supposed
dad.
to?
My dad just texted me. There was a shoemaker in there too.
Oh, thanks,
Thanks,
Dad.
Dad.
Thanks.
It's William the First.
Oh, William the First.
The Big Bill.
Big Bad Bill.
Big Bad Bill is
Sweet William now.
His dad is what's the Irish
Sweet
thing
William.
he runs? It's cool.
He was the president. He was former president of the Ancient Order of Hibernians,
Oh, that's right.
and he was
Yeah, I
grand.
remember
And
that.
he was Grand Marshal this past year's Bethpage St.
Grand
Patrick's
Poobah.
Day parade.
High sign? No.
No, he was the raccoon tailor. Ooh,
Ah.
the raccoon lodge. No, he was. He traded. So it's funny. When I was a kid, so my mom's family is all from Ireland. When I was a kid, we always just thought that my dad's family that he's German and that he knows that like some ancestors were from England and also Czechoslovakia, and he ended up finding he did like Ancestry.com, but he also found records and stuff that he's got heritage in Ireland as well. But he started to find more and more. But it's funny that I never knew anything about my great grandfather. Like my grandfather died when I was like 8. But it was funny to see that my grandfather was a junior. Like I'm named after my dad. It was funny
Right.
to see that my grandfather was named after his father. And then we just found not too long ago that there was another William Sharon going back to like the 1830s or something like
Wow.
that.
Your
Ah.
son's named William too, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
but it's
William
funny.
3, not William
Yeah.
2.
But you want to laugh? My son calls himself when people say what's your name, he goes, "I'm William Sharon the Third." Like it's just funny. Like when I was a kid, they say what's your name? I would just say William.
Yeah, right,
He
right.
loves the fact that he's the third, and it's not like we rub it as we don't parade him around like Thurston Howell or.
I was
anything.
just about to say that.
Yeah.
That's
but,
great.
But after my daughter was born, we didn't know if we'd be able to have kids ever again, and went to all that stuff.
Right.
That's comedic. and
again.
so literally within a
And then
few months
there he
of
is.
buying our house, we found out that my wife was pregnant, and we wanted a surprise. My wife is all about schedules and stuff, so she wanted to know the gender. So when they said it was a boy, I was like, oh man, and she was like, so I was like, we can name him James because her dad is James, and he doesn't have any sons. So I was like, we can name him James. And she goes, oh, yeah, like James Francis, because she has an Uncle Frank. I was like, well, how about James Patrick? My Uncle James it was James Patrick, didn't have any kids. And then she goes, well, William. She goes, like, we're going to name him William. So I was like, well, yeah. But her due date was on my dad's birthday.
Oh, wow.
And my son's born actually the day after my dad. We were at my parents' house we were celebrating my dad's birthday. And as we were leaving, my wife's water broke.
Oh, wow.
And we were like, well, Tag, you're it. We
Yeah,
left my
right.
daughter there. And so, yeah, my son so our water broke on the 15th, but my son was born on the 16th. So he's,
that's cool.
Yeah, he's the third.
Yeah, that's like me and my Kevin. Like he's born the day after me.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the bond that my dad and my son had, it's so cool to see, like, because, my grandparents lived in Queens, in Richmond Hill when I was a kid, and they moved like within like 2 weeks of my grandfather retiring, he dropped dead, and so like I have memories of my grandfather, not a lot, but like they were all like fun, but like I love the fact that my dad sees my son almost every day, if not every other day. You
Yeah,
know?
that's fantastic.
And like it's so cool that they that they get time to hang out, and he clings to my dad. It's not like I beat my son either. Like he just, but like when he sees he calls my dad D-Doc because and
There's
he's
a
like,
weird dent on that guitar, though, shape of a head. I don't know what's going on.
yeah. Sometimes you got to honky tonk man somebody, you know. Sometimes a wife acts up. You gotta, I turn a. But it's anyway, yeah.
I want to go back to what you said before about going to the deli and getting like a candy bar or something.
Yeah.
Were you there? I was talking about just the other day. Who was I talking to? We were talking about stuff like, because I used to do the same thing. We had a neighborhood deli, F&M Deli on Levittown Parkway in Hicksville.
Oh yeah.
We used to go down there all the time, and we would buy candy bars, and it's when kids were allowed to, even when you were like 6, you were allowed to like roam.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't even get our kids out of the house. They can roam all they want. They just never leave.
I'll tell you, the kid. I don't know about you guys, but the kids that roam in our town are these jackasses that do wheelies down the middle of the street. And
Yeah, a little bit of that.
Like, I mean, I don't get, like, I get it if it's like on your block, because when I was a kid I used to do the same thing.
Yeah,
if
of
you
course.
pop a wheelie in front of your house, or like a couple houses down, or you drive 4 houses down to get some speed, but like on Broadway, on Stewart Avenue,
Yeah, that's
the kids
just
doing that,
stupidity.
like, and God forgive me, like maybe a kid does need to get clipped before someone realize, because it's all,
I don't think they learned, like we learned really young to walk by ourselves, get on the side of the road, look both ways. I don't think our kids don't leave the house.
But because everybody was out, if you did something stupid like that,
People
you
were
knew
telling
your whole neighborhood.
Like, hey,
so if they,
get out of the road.
So if you did a wheelie like that, and somebody's driving by, there's Will. I'm calling his mom.
You knew it got back to your parents.
Right. That's not the case now.
In today's day and age, there's like the mom groups and dad groups and community town groups.
They just post, if your kid is out there right now, you better go get him.
Somebody took a snapshot of a couple kids about a year or 2 years ago and was like, these are the kids I saw. I took this picture, like, say, in town, and they were like, these are the kids. And somebody was like, oh, I would take that down because their parents might be on this. Like, good.
Right.
Good.
That's the whole idea of posting a picture.
That's
right.
the purpose is that if you know this kid,
right,
if that's your kid, smack him in the head. I'd be like, you see what's on here, you know, like, or
I know,
or if you know the person who's the family that is, tell them, listen, your kid's a jackass. This kid, like, there should be like some kind of shaming.
It's like a few years ago, Pokemon Go became popular.
That was,
and I remember writing a
Darwinism
post
at its best.
I remember writing a post saying, not even just for my kids, but for like all kids around, because I noticed the same thing you were noticing with like wheelies in the middle of the road. Like I was like, people, be careful. Do not hit these children. They have no idea how to walk in a road. They're just like walking with their phone, getting these things, and there's going to be like badness.
But I like
fall off a cliff to catch a Gigachu or Pukapoo or whatever they call it. Do yourself a favor, as Bill Burr.
Yeah, of course.
Thinning out the herd.
Yeah.
He talks about how like we're overpopulated. That the herd. He goes, I'm not saying like what. He's like, but you take out a couple of cruise ships. That's a couple thousand people. Just slowly, every now and then, a cruise ship goes down. No survivors. This is like the thing with the people that were. What was it? Yesterday, 2 days ago, people were protesting at Albany. They were anti-vaccinations. Like, great. One person in that crowd sneezes, all those people are going to be dead in 3 months.
Right.
Perfect.
Keep it all to themselves.
I like the Pokemon Go thing because it was getting them out of the
I
house.
loved it
People
too.
People were socializing.
I was seriously worried for them though, but they had a great time there. And I remember Sam coming home going, everyone's just kind of hanging in the road around the corner, and we're standing by cars and talking, and I'm like, Sam, this is how it's supposed to be, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were talking about candy bars, and that's what, like I can't remember who I was talking to, but we used to go to the corner deli. And
F&M on Levittown Park.
Yeah, but I used to get all the time. I used to get remember the old chunky bars.
Oh yeah.
I love chunky. You didn't eat a chunky bar. There's no way you ate a chunky bar with raisins and nuts in it.
No. They had different. They had raisins. There
I
was
thought
almonds.
chunky bars
I
always
thought they
had
only
nuts
had-
and raisins.
Yeah.
No, they had those one that was just
plain
solid milk chocolate. Yes,
I never saw
don't know.
those because he doesn't eat anything.
I'm telling
but
you,
milk chocolate.
that's what I used to eat. But it got me thinking of all these different candy bars that you don't see anymore that used to be around when we were
I feel
kids.
like I still
what I-
see Chunkies.
You
No?
know what I hadn't
No,
seen in
I
a
haven't
while,
seen it in years.
and when I had it again, it was nowhere near as good as when I
Yeah,
was a kid.
it's changed.
Whatchamacallits.
Reese's,
Oh, yes, yeah, I forgot
When I
about
was
Reese's
a
that.
kid,
cups are totally
whatchamacallits
different
were-
now.
Reese's cups don't taste the
still
same
like
way
them.
either,
Tastes
yeah.
chalky.
Yeah.
There's also less peanut butter in it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like chalk.
Yeah.
Remember the Reggie bar?
What was
Yeah.
in whatchamacallits?
Reggie Bear wasn't around, but whatchamacallit was kind of almost like a. It wasn't
it a
like a Rice
cookie in it?
Krispie treat. It was some kind of like a almost not a Rice Krispie treat with marshmallows, but it was like it was almost like rice covered in chocolate with I think a little bit of caramel on it.
Okay.
But I remember as a kid like seeing the commercial Power Bar. That was another one
Right.
that they don't have anymore.
Yep.
I don't think they have anymore.
What else? They were. Of course, I'm drawing a blank now. But there were a lot of stuff.
What the heck was one? Not Luna. There was something like
Tuna.
that. Yeah. You remember coconut hot tuna bar?
Hello, Bonnie. Hello, Gina Conjeni.
Bonnie.
Ken Jemmy Coffin. Kenny Shevlin. Robert Shapiro. Mark White is watching. Hello, Mark White.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh my
there's a lot
God.
of good stuff. I'm going to look it up and see what.
Chuckles. Remember Chewels?
No.
That was the gum that had like
Yeah.
little liquid in it.
Oh,
do remember
yeah.
that.
And one thing my grandma always had in her purse was Velomints.
Huh.
Do you remember Velomints?
Yeah.
Didn't like
They were squares.
Bubblicious have those like liquidy things in it too?
Yeah. What
Gum?
the heck were they called? Yeah, they were. What the hell were they?
Well, what the hell? Space Dust? I don't remember that.
I don't remember Space Dust. Was that like? What's it, like
Space
Fun Dip?
Dust sizzling candy.
I remember they had Popeye Big League Chew.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It was supposed to look like shredded
Ooh,
spinach.
the Wonder Ball. Made by Disney. What the hell?
Mark White brought up Cracker Jacks, and it's so funny because we went to this we went to the
I'm on a
to
delay.
see
I
Queen
don't see like any of these.
not too long ago, and they
Uh-huh.
had like one of the choices was Cracker Jacks. I didn't even know what like I hadn't seen it in like 20 years.
Oh, is that right? I never ate them, so I never noticed. You can't. They're not really around that much anymore.
No, I don't know.
I didn't know that.
Maybe I just haven't seen them in a long
PB
time.
Max.
Did Cracker Jack? They still put peanuts in them with all these allergies,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh, Space Dust was similar to Pop Rocks.
Oh.
Didn't they outlaw Pop Rocks or something? Right.
I think after Mikey.
We were sitting at a
Mikey.
friend's house a couple of weekends ago, and he had this like big thing of just regular peanuts that you cracked open and ate them, and it's like I hadn't seen anyone do that for the longest time, and it was
My
so much
dad does.
fun.
My dad, you go to any Mets game, my dad will buy a bag of peanuts.
Bag of nuts.
Not to.
Bag of nuts.
He brings his giant nutsack to Mets games, and it's the funniest thing. When we were kids, remember like the ground round on
Yeah.
107?
Yeah.
Right?
I used to work at Stern, so I used to like
Oh, okay.
I used to like go to the ground round every like day for like
That
lunch.
was the coolest thing, right?
Yeah.
My dad used to love, and he still does. He and my mom go to a lot of Mets games. He'll bring a giant bag of peanuts with the shells, just toss it like it's just so funny that
Yeah.
like there's certain pastimes that never
Right.
get old. Another thing, when we were kids, we used to go to the zoo. My dad would buy a bag of caramel squares. this is like I don't know not ASPC, yeah, maybe ASPC. he used to whether it was the Bronx, whatever. He used to take the caramel square and feed them to the monkeys.
and they'd be
So it
like,
would take them forever to eat it. That's funny.
Yeah,
so
one of the
funny.
best one of the best. You know how like the chimpanzee at the Long Island would go like this, and its hand would do like
Yeah.
and, like it can't say come up, but it's like its hands flush, and it would do like this. It could only move like 2 fingers. So my dad, we were like little kids being like the lookout, and my dad was like, he like would make it into like a little golf ball and go, oh hey, you want something? You know, like do like a quick toss. So,
Like a drug deal.
so this thing starts chewing and it's going. And my dad's, you like that? So we're like that because I mean we know the thing. It's not gonna choke to death. You know, it'll be fine.
sure.
So this thing goes over to like where like the sprinkler is and its cage, and it like hangs upside down and it's chugging water to wash the shit down. And
Oh, that's
then
funny.
It's just going, right? And it does, right? forgetting that if you show your teeth, that's a sign of aggression to a monkey. It has like the velvet ropes. It starts whacking the velvet ropes, and it jumps up and spits the water out. It just misses my dad.
Wow.
My dad goes, "Okay, let's go."
Let's go,
As
kids.
we start leaving, this thing picks up its shit.
No way.
It flings its turd, totally misses it. My dad's like, "All right, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here." Right? As this is happening, you know, there was like that train ride that would go around the perimeter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy's on the train. He's like, and here we have, I don't know, whatever the things that like, you know,
Chimpanzee.
Bubbles the chimp.
Bubbles. Yeah. Here we have Bubbles. So he's like, oh look, Bubbles is throwing something. Thank you, Bubbles.
Oh, he actually caught some?
He caught one of the nuggets, and once he realized what he caught, he's like, he wipes on his hand. Now it's stuck with you all day on your clothes,
on your
stupid.
clothes. What the
Yeah.
hell?
Because your dad wanted to fuck him up with giving him caramel.
Talk about a domino effect.
Yeah.
That's like something that would happen like George Costanza, you know?
Yeah, but as a kid, like, you can't do that today. But like, I mean, it's only one time that I remember that happened, but it was the funniest thing. And then years later, my older sister and my brother-in-law were up here. I think they were up here from North Carolina, and they were here with my sister's kids. She had, my nieces and my nephew, and I guess they had heard the story. They bought a thing of caramel, and they're like, "Hey, Dad," right? They didn't do it though, but it was like it's one of like the funniest times where you would like you couldn't do that today. I mean, the thing was fine. It wasn't like it
Right.
didn't hurt it
Yeah,
or whatever.
of course.
Yeah.
But it was just watching my dad like laugh like a kid, but like almost like the
Yeah.
Homer did the that like Homer Simpson giggle. It was like that's forever in my memory. It's like one of the greatest
Right.
times.
I had a house. The first house I owned was in Hicksville, and there was just a few houses down was a
Patel
horse.
Brothers.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
A what?
Patel Brothers.
horse stables. Horse stable was there, and
Patel father was there. The brothers branched out over time. Took over half of 107.
yeah, more than half. So I walked over there once with a buddy of mine, and he's petting the horse, and the freaking horse, I don't know, it fucking sneezed all over him.
That's quite the sneeze.
But
Yeah.
but it was almost like a comedy, like a Naked Gun type comedy. Like you could actually see it. Like,
Yeah.
my buddy got so mad he actually he punched the horse right across the face.
Wow.
And I grabbed him. I go, "It's time to go." Same thing. I was like, all right. Just maybe like a year later, I'm over there with another buddy. Same thing, feeding him carrots.
Yeah.
Just feeding him carrots, and it was totally innocent. He's just sitting there feeding him carrots. Out of nowhere, the horse is eating, and all of a sudden, poof, spits it all out right in his face. I swear to God. And this,
I would bring someone there every day.
well,
See
that
what they
one,
did to them.
I laugh now about the getting sneezed on, but at the time, because he hauled off, full punch right across the face of this. I was like, we're gonna get in trouble. They're gonna call the cops. I was like, we're out of here. I laugh about it now, but sneezing on my buddy, that one, I couldn't even talk. I was laughing hysterically.
Do you remember how I don't know if the Bronx Zoo had, but the Long Island Game Farm had the petting zoo part, right? Jim Brewer, when he did Go Boy.
Yeah.
My dad, like, this might think a call. My dad abusing animals. But like, I'll never forget. Like we were feeding they were like nanny goats or whatever they were called.
Yeah.
Right.
And us kids, like, I didn't want these because they end up being like programmed to now know, like, oh, they see food, they go,
Right.
Pavlov's goats.
That's Frank.
Oh.
I'm not gonna kill Joe Frank. So my dad was one of those that like you get like the milk bottle, or you get like the paper bag with the oats and stuff in it, and like they would say like, here, you wanna feed them, but then next thing you know, like, none of us want to feed because they start crowding you get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And my dad would be like, okay, oh, here, you want this? Oh, okay, here you go. Oh, hold on, here you go. And like
Right.
push you out of the way, and then how you doing? And then like one or two of them would
Do I need to fix any of this?
one or two of them would end up like
No,
trying
just move
to
over. Just Frank, move over a little bit.
one or two of them would end up trying to like
Yeah, they're
crowd you and be like, get down,
They're
goddammit.
totally overwhelming.
Yeah,
Oops,
yeah.
sorry, I didn't see
That's
you
all
on
right.
there.
That's okay.
Okay.
Frank, come over with not that one. But the one that you can
Yeah, that
actually
one, yep,
pull
that
that all the way over.
Look at this.
Yeah.
All right,
And you can put those headphones on.
All right, before we even get into that, you want to do the sponsors quick? It's
Sure.
12 o'clock.
Bella Vista Pizza. If you are starving like I am right now, please go to Bella Vista Pizza. They're located in Plainview. They're at 154 Minetto Hill Road. They will deliver for free. They have wings and pasta and anything you want to put on your pizza. 516-433-4464. Family-owned pizza place restaurant that's been there forever and amazing. If you are in the market for buying a home or you want to list your home, please contact Gina Conjemi Coffin. She is a licensed real estate agent for Signature Premier Properties. Her phone number is 631-495-7696. Gina will work so hard for you, it'll make your
Head
Head
spin.
spin.
And don't forget Knock 'em Dead Comedy, ladies and gentlemen. Knock 'em Dead Comedy. This Monday, you can see us. We're doing a game show at the Connect Public Library. That's this Monday. Are you doing that one or no?
What?
The game show at Connect Public Library.
I don't think I am because there's
Okay.
one just in the morning and one at nighttime.
Right. I thought
Yeah.
you're not doing the daytime one with
I
Eric?
can't do the daytime, but I can do
Oh.
the nighttime.
All right.
But I
so
think
you're
he's got that
Yeah,
covered.
he's got that covered. All right, so Eric will be out there at the Connecticut Public Library doing our fun game show. Then some of our open to the public murder mysteries. September 27th at St. Stephen's Lutheran Church in Hicksville. September 28th, Our Lady of Mercy Church in Hicksville. Frank Steaks, October 4th. The Riverhead Public Library, October 5th. And don't forget, October 25th, the Brokerage in Belmore, one of the great Governor's Comedy Clubs here on Long Island. You can catch Knock 'em Dead Comedy. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com for our full schedule, information on who we are, what we do, testimonials, videos, photos, and, of course, booking information, knockemdeadcomedy.com. And remember marathon bars? I forgot about those. You remember those things?
What were they?
I do.
Chocolate and caramel?
Yeah, and it was so sticky, it took like hours to eat the damn thing, right?
Not me.
All right, so joining us here, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Frank Fiala is here. Frank
Hello,
Fiala.
everybody.
Now, all right, before we get into anything, what was just going on here? You yelling at the poor lady?
No,
here?
no,
What
it's
what
my
was that
wife.
going on? He's sitting
My
there.
wife.
All I see in the corner of my eye.
I was. What
Leave her
happened
alone.
is you
he
have
wouldn't let her come in here.
you have a sponsor that's a realtor. I'm also a realtor.
Yeah.
So I was saying, oh well,
That's all right.
So
Tell
I
him.
was going to talk about maybe sponsoring the show, but if you already have a realtor, I'm not going to. However, I do have something else that may be interested in sponsoring.
Okay.
I have my comedy company, which is Remember the Laughter.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's a new company,
I did not know that.
brand new.
And what is brand new right now?
Like
Basically,
you thought of it once the real estate thing was out.
no, the real estate's actually booming. But
No, I meant advertising.
oh yes, for yeah, I came up with something off the
a
top of my
second.
head. No, it's just if you want to book stand-up comedians for your fundraisers, corporate events, private parties,
Oh, okay.
stuff like that. So,
Very nice. Frank, Will Frank.
Yes,
Hey, how
Will
you
and I are
doing?
friends
Nice
on
to meet
Facebook. We've never met, but now we have. Nice to meet you, Will.
What are you knocking stuff over here? What's going
She's
on?
breaking his guitar.
You want me to put it over here? Here, pass
Yeah,
it over. I'll
sure.
throw it over here.
Kill another 30 seconds.
Is this and is this a left-handed guitar?
Yeah.
It is. Look at that. Oh, okay.
You play it.
What's that?
If you want to play later,
I-
you can.
I don't know now. I would if I did. You are going to play for us? Is that what's going on?
Nah.
No, you just brought it in so we can look at it.
Well, you said bring it in. So.
Oh, okay. Benny Rizzuti is watching. Hello, Benny.
Hey, Benny.
Benny. Okay, so all right, so yeah, you guys are Facebook friends. You never met.
No, we've never met.
I'm surprised because you guys do a lot of the local stuff, so I figured you would have crossed paths somehow.
Yeah, I would have thought so too, but
It happens.
today we've crossed.
There you go.
So Frank
Yes.
did a show with us, a murder mystery.
That's
so
right.
He's
Just last week.
He's been working with us for a little bit. He did his first show last week, which was amazing.
Thank you.
He did a really great job.
He did.
Really.
What were your thoughts? Were you like, "Holy crap, this is awful"? Was it
No.
better than you expected? Worse than you expected? Was it fun?
I didn't know what to expect, and I've learned in life, as long as you go into stuff with no expectations, you can't be disappointed.
That's what your wife
unfortunately,
said,
that's
yeah.
why my wife and I have been together for 20 years, because at this point I can't disappoint her anymore.
Let's just take
Hold
this.
on just one second.
Sure.
Hey, you're live on the Knock 'em Dead Comedy Radio Show. Who's this?
Hey, it's Gina.
Hi, Gina.
If your guest wants to take my sponsorship spot, that's fine. I will move mine to another show.
Oh,
Wow, I don't want to take your spot, Gina. That's not nice.
No,
You don't
it's
pull
all
your
good,
sponsorship
all
on
good.
somebody.
There are plenty of shows here. There's
No,
room for everybody.
Not at all, Gina. And I'm sure we're going to do some business in the future anyway, because been doing some work out east. No, I would never take your sponsorship.
If you want, it's not a problem. All right, guys, I'm not holding you up to do business on
Oh.
the phone, but just want to let you know that.
Well, Gina's good like that. Thanks, Gina.
Actually, it sounds like she was
Bye.
getting ready to pull her sponsorship and not give her the out.
She must. I mean,
She's been
she
waiting
must be-
for this moment.
She must be very unhappy. Now that tells me I shouldn't sponsor.
Or maybe you just walked in looking all mafioso and she got
It's
scared.
possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. So anyway, getting back to your question, I didn't know what to expect, and for the first show, I think it was perfect because it was the room was not too big,
Right.
So we didn't, and because we don't really go over any blocking because there is no specific blocking in this show, so we didn't have to worry about saying, "Oh, I need to be next to Sally," or I need to be next to Tony. It just we were confined enough that you were never too far away.
Sure.
And because it was a small room, we weren't mic'd, so it just gave us a chance
Yeah.
to really get a feel for the show. And what I liked about it, for me, is I've done a little bit of theater where you have to be right on and exact, and with this show
Right.
because it's more improv, it's you kind of just let it roll. And I know I had skipped a line, and I needed to go back to it because it was important for the show, but because it was so loose, we were able to go back to it as opposed to doing a theater play. Once you skip that line, you can't go back.
Sure. And a regular theater show, you have the opportunity to leave. You're not in every scene.
Right.
Where this one, I mean, you're out there, man, and you have nowhere to go because you're not even on a stage. You're just there with them. So
But
you have
most
nowhere
importantly
to run.
is everybody. Everybody just made me feel so comfortable and welcome. And
well, we
Great,
drugged you.
good.
We drugged you. Yeah.
oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah.
So, or is it like crack? You're nice to me in the first one, and now all the rest you're just going to be mean.
Forget it. Yeah,
Right,
it's all
right.
over now.
As soon as I mess up, okay, I figured.
Violence, whipping.
Oh, well, that could be exciting.
You haven't done any acting, have you? You just
I did improv years ago.
Oh,
but not
did
like
you?
Acting.
Are we allowed to ask where you did improv?
Sure, yeah. Upright Citizens Brigade. and
Oh, really?
People's Improv Theater, yeah.
Oh, in the city then, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. And did you like it or?
I loved it. Yeah, I did for 5 years. I wanted to be on
Wow.
Saturday Night Live, and then I met my wife, and I was like, I need a real job because if that doesn't pan out,
Yeah.
I want this lady to stay around.
Yeah. I think we.
How long you married?
12 years.
And you still want her around?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
The jokes.
We're over 20 now.
Meanwhile, he brought you with him though, so he doesn't fool me.
I take her everywhere.
As
I
you
take her
should.
everywhere.
As you should.
Or is it you take him everywhere?
Or you just can't trust his ass. You got to keep an eye on him.
She just needs to keep an eye on me.
Meanwhile, she's sitting there smiling. She's like, "You're dead. I'm
Right.
gonna kill you."
Well, I torment her on Facebook and
Mhm,
in
you do.
in my joke in my set, I make fun of her a little bit. I make fun of myself through her, but she is the victim of some of my. People call her a saint. They say she's just a saint.
Absolutely. Speaking of acting, I did. You've done some movies recently.
I have, yes. I'm sorry, Will. We were talking about your improv and.
No, don't worry about it.
Well, I think we did mention.
I
to you-
talked for over an hour.
Oh, all right. So you're done.
This is what his third.
It's like being
second,
on the
third
treadmill.
time.
I've done my hour. I'm done. Right.
He's been
I
here.
wouldn't know about an hour on the treadmill, but I'll take your word for it.
I think I told you, right? We just had a girl that used to work with us. She just auditioned for Saturday Night Live last week.
Oh, no.
I didn't know that.
I thought she worked with us years ago. She's out in Chicago now.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
But she actually went to Chicago because
Second City.
she auditioned here for
Olympic,
Second City,
Iowa,
Really?
and she made it. So
Yeah.
she's been working for them out there. It's got to be almost 10 years now, actually.
Yeah.
Well, that goes back to what you were saying before about Governor's Radio. If you know comedy, would you know a place?
That's what. Yeah.
In improv,
Sure,
you have
that
to know,
one, yeah.
You have to know Second City, the Groundlings, Improv Olympic, Upright
UCB,
Citizens
right,
Brigade.
yeah.
The Pit was People Improv Theater. Gotham, Magnet. There's
You see, that last one I don't know. Magnet.
yeah, Magnet was
know who that is.
Don't mind me. I'm like fighting. I have like a.
I was
pulled-
about to ask. You look
No,
like you're
I
gonna
have,
cry.
like- no, I have like a pulled muscle or something here. Like
Is
hurts.
it indigestion?
No,
or a
no,
pulled muscle?
Is that
I
a
have
gallbladder or a hiatal hernia?
I have a hiatal hernia, but it's right. It's like right here. I like turned funny when I
Can we see it? No, I'm kidding.
nah. It'll cost you.
Actually, did I tell you, Joey Cola did that. He had a hernia, and he was doing his show here. He showed us.
I have it here, but I get like cramps, like ab muscle, like pulls or something. I don't know what the hell it is.
You sure it's not gallbladder?
Yeah, no, because it's the ab muscle. Because if I like need it or whatever, it goes away.
Are you gonna pass out or something? Because that could go viral. That could really help us.
Right.
No.
Yeah. No.
Like no, what's my pulse? 150 over. Oh, that's fine. Nice. No, but we were saying before when I first got here about if you're at Governor, like, do people outside in the comic business know about Governor's? I was like, well, if you're from whatever city, like if you follow a comic, you would know like Caroline's or what,
Right.
like
Yeah.
you would know like clubs in the cities, or you've heard of a club somebody's done in a big city. But if you're like researching Eddie Murphy or whoever, like this club would come up. I said, but like going back to the improv, like there's certain improv places you definitely would know about.
But regular people, if you're not a comic, you wouldn't. If you lived in Idaho, you wouldn't know what Governor's
No.
is. So we
No.
were thinking about changing the Governor's Radio to Governor's Comedy Club Radio, because Governor's Radio, it sounds like a political show.
Yeah, a little bit. So
Some.
so that wouldn't be a bad idea. Plus, it gives a little notoriety to the Governor's Comedy Club, and
Sure.
gets their name out there. That wouldn't
Yeah.
be a bad idea.
What's Caroline's like? I've never been there. Is it like, are there tables? How many
Yeah.
people does it seat, or is it? Do they serve dinner? Is it just a place to do stand up?
No, they have tables, they have booths. The stage is a little wider than the big room here, but you don't need a whole lot of stage to, like, stage is way bigger than as far as
How many people can
With-
sit
it's
in there?
I would say it's got to seat 300 to 400.
Wow,
Wow,
that's a
okay.
big
And
deal.
does it serve dinner like the big
Yeah.
room in here,
Oh, yeah,
or is
yeah.
it just like pub food or?
No, and you could have have a VIP, like here you could buy VIP
Huh.
seats. You could do the same thing there. You
Nice.
could sit at a table, like for two. I know we first time I was ever there, so at least the Lampanelli, like
sorry.
15 years ago or so.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And yeah, you sit at like a table for two or a table for four, or whatever. But then there's bigger tables, and it's different. But a lot of them it's the same format. The bar is outside of the actual sitting area. People come by, they have a light when your time is up,
Yeah, right.
and
Well, this is what, $350, isn't it?
it's
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
like that, yeah, yeah.
It's surprising how many people can fit in here.
Yes.
You know?
It looks deceivingly small, but it
Yeah.
actually
It's
holds
not,
a lot.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And both you guys have both played the big room at some point, right?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. Not too often. I did it. Carrie Karavis actually got me a spot on one of the open mic nights.
Nice.
And
Carrie's great.
yeah, she is. And I know actually, and then the other times I've been down in the small in the little room.
Okay.
Also a good room.
Yeah. I'm just pointing out that's Mark White. He's wearing our shirt. I don't
nice.
think I don't think it's right now. I think you wore it the other day. But thank you, Mark.
That's cool, Mark.
That's the closest I want to come to seeing you, booby. So yeah, I want to ask. So you're an interesting story because you're a retired policeman
Yes.
from New York City policeman.
NYPD, right?
And so what? And what?
Are you tier 1?
Um,
Tier 4, like in the TDA?
I don't know. Either.
Oh, no,
I did my 20 and out.
Okay.
Yeah. What does that mean? Tier
So
one?
I'm a teacher, a city teacher.
Okay.
So like cops, firemen, sanitation, teachers. Where I think if you anything before 81 is tier 1. Like
Yeah, no, I got on in 91 under
Okay.
under Dinkins Safe Streets program.
Okay. Yeah, like anyone prior to 81 gets 100% salary when they retire.
No, I get 50%.
Okay.
So
All right.
Yes, it's like 2 to 4. Because my wife is
Yeah.
4.
Oh, yeah.
I'm 6. I started like 6 years ago, so I get like 35,
right.
which is why I do stand up. So I can at least pay for Starbucks, which I don't.
There you
drink.
go. I don't drink Starbucks either.
Well, so yeah. So what was? So did you 20 and out because what you had? Was comedy something you wanted to?
No, I actually
always
didn't.
want-
I didn't.
like,
I didn't.
What's
start,
your history there?
Well, my history. I literally went. I was working 7 at night till 4 in the morning. Kathy was basically for the last 2 years was basically a single mother. I was working as much overtime as I could. The shift was odd, so I was sleeping a lot.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
then
that's a tough shift,
I went
man.
into work one night, and I stood on 45th and 7th. I looked around, and I said, I just don't want to do this anymore. So I
What did you see that? Like, what sparked that?
I think
Nothing?
it was nothing in particular. You know, it wasn't like
okay.
something happened or. I just looked around. I think it was the shift that I was working. It was
Yeah,
I
that's
was,
a
I was
tough
getting
shift.
tired of I was just getting tired of going into work and leaving Kathy home alone with the kids because she's not good with plants. So I was always worried about what could happen with the kids. So I decided to retire. So I had so much time built up on the books that before I actually retired, I took like a few months off.
Oh, wow.
I ended up giving them time back. I had so much time built up. But
No kidding. Wow.
and then after that, I took the summer off, and I thought I was going to golf and fish, and no, my Kathy ran off to work, and I was home with the kids, and which it was easier chasing people with guns than it was to stay home with the kids. It really was.
It's tough.
It was.
It really is.
Because
It's
they,
tough.
I mean, they weren't young. They were, what were they, 11 and 5, 11 and 7, I don't even know.
Yeah.
But so they needed constant attention. I mean, it wasn't a great pool, but we had a swimming pool. They had, $80,000 worth of toys in the basement that they never played
Friends
with.
over all the
and
time.
friends
You have to
and-
keep
and
everyone alive.
They just needed
It's really
constant
stressful.
attention. I don't understand how the teachers do it. You're watching everybody else's kid.
I ignore my kids completely.
Right. So,
So
I
like that
retired.
guy, nah, I do that shit for a living. You
Right.
figure it out. Sandwich, I don't know. Figure it out.
So when I retired, I was looking for something to do. My buddy had suggested real estate.
Okay.
So I went into the real estate. I took my test in like November. I became a licensed realtor in November of 2011, and I started working for Century 21. And then about a year later, I started struggling with being retired. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden it was like, who am I? Well, what is my purpose?
Right.
Selling houses and helping people buy houses is all nice and well, but
Yeah.
but when you actually spend your life, helping people and doing things, you start to struggle with your identity. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do with myself. And it was like, who am I? I was officer and sergeant file, and now I'm just Frank.
Yeah.
Did you
Ladies and
find?
gentlemen, just Frank.
Did you find people asking you like, "Oh, you need to get hobbies, you need to do this," and you not be like, "Nah, but I'm not into that."
No one really said to get hobbies. The only advice that a retired guy had given me was, he said, retire with a plan and don't retire in the winter, because if you retire in the winter, there's nothing to do.
Oh, okay.
However, I retired in April of 2011, and I thought I'd have a lot to do, but Kathy had other ideas with that. So there was no fishing, there was no golfing, and I'm also one of those guys. Is like, I'm not going to go out and play golf 5 days a week. I might have played
Right.
once, twice a month. Or fished a little bit, but I wasn't going to do that all the time. My biggest fear though was I didn't want to end up as one of the retired guys sitting in the bar all day.
Right.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
I do like my beer. But I didn't want to be that guy, so I knew I had to do something. And
Yeah.
so when my buddy mentioned the real estate, it was a great idea. So after I came to terms with my retirement and accepted that I'm into a new phase of my life, I embraced it, and things went much better. And then I was to leading up to the comedy was I grew up extremely introverted. People that knew me from when I was a kid don't remember this. And they're like, you're lying. I was so introverted. I couldn't talk to anybody. Definitely not girls. I couldn't. I would break out into a sweat if. And my buddy Brian, he passed from 9/11 cancer, but he helped me when I was younger come out of my shell. And then when I worked for New York City EMS prior to the police department, as an EMT, I realized I had to talk to people.
Right.
So that got me between Brian and having to talk to
Yeah,
people.
you don't have a lot of time if they can't breathe.
Right.
Can you breathe? you got to talk.
So and then I started coming up with these stupid jokes in the back of the ambulance that would calm them down. And it would be stupid stuff like, I think you have Henway, and they'd be like, what's Henway? I'm like, about 5 pounds. Those stupid jokes.
Yeah.
Or it brought
distracts them
It distracted them.
from-
And
Right.
I've had people that I took them to the hospital. By the time I got them to the hospital, they were ready to go home. That's how calm they were.
Yeah.
You're like Gandhi.
Yeah, but different. So now fast forward again to 2011. I retired. It's around 2000, and Nick was 15. So how long ago was that? 5 years ago. I noticed Nick, my son, was very shy. And I had always wanted to take the comedy class because people always said, "Oh, you're very funny." And I got my start in comedy as a stand-up. I know you're all going to hate me for this. I was a heckler. I was the enhancer heckler, not the "Oh, you're a terrible heckler." Like you would finish your joke and I would just add to it. And a couple of times the comedians came up to me after the show, like,
punch you.
You're very funny. You should really think about So when I noticed Nick was a little bit shy, we took the stand-up university class with Rich Walker, Peter Bales, Steve Lazarus, and George Carini. It was an excellent class, and
Peter Bales just here last night?
Yes, he was. And so Nick and I did the comedy together, and he is now in college, so he didn't get and he was in high school at the time. Well, he was 15, so it was high school. He didn't get much chance to perform, but I hooked up with John LaRocchia from Laughter Saves Lives.
Sure. Yeah.
And Rick Morgan. They really got me started. Ron Herron gave me a little bit. I don't know if you know Ron Herron. He gave me a little bit of a start as well.
I do. I know who he is. I don't know him personally. Yeah. But John
funny. and Rick Morgan really got me going in the comedy. So Nick, unfortunately, he doesn't really get a chance to perform too much because he's at school. He goes to Maritime, so he sails off for 6-8 weeks at a time, and so he's having fun. So that's and then from there I started to get into the acting.
Right. I just watched some of Family Obligations.
Oh, thank you.
A movie that you're in,
Yes.
Uncle Frank.
That's me, Uncle Frank.
But what was cool about this movie, other than seeing you, of course.
Thank you.
Which, nice job. What's his name? Paulie. Paulie from
Tony
Rock-
Sirico?
No, Rocky.
Burt Young.
Burt Young, thank you.
Oh,
Burt Young's in
wow.
this movie.
No, he's not. You have that's the wrong movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm confusing my movies. There was another thing on your Facebook with him in it. But
No,
you're
it's
not in that?
No, I'm not in it. That's I
just got
can't pronounce
confused,
his name. That's he's a Greek guy, Gregorius.
Right, but you're not in that movie.
I'm not in that.
I just saw it on your Facebook. Sorry.
Yeah, he posted
I'm
on my
getting all
wall.
confused.
Yeah, we try to help each other out. So
Okay, sorry. My apologies.
no.
But you played. I liked your character in Family Obligations.
Thank you.
You were the main guy's uncle, and you were
Yep.
a little bossy, but a little funny.
Yeah, it was
and
a cranky, grumpy,
yeah.
dying old man.
But who was banned from some places for stealing.
Yeah,
and gambling. Yeah. I thought there was some funny stuff going on there. I
So
liked it.
yeah, thank you.
And so it's really kind of things have happened kind of quickly then. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, just in 5 years. Sure. Being a police officer didn't kind of bring you out of your shell where you got.
Well, at that
used
point,
to-
I was out of my shell.
Yeah. Oh, you were just thinking for your son. And I kind of feel the same way. Like my son is he just graduated high school, and when you were saying about girls and stuff, I was thinking about him because he'll be comfortable talking to people, and then like a girl will walk up, and he looks like he just got a brain tumor.
Yeah.
Like he gets this look like.
That's exactly how
And,
I was.
and I remember like seeing that. I remember being a girl in high school, like occasionally seeing that look on boys and thinking they are just weird or hate me or
Yeah.
and I didn't realize that they were just nervous.
Yeah,
Until I met Sam as a teenager, he was all chatty and nice and easy to talk with until he became like a teenager with girls, and he just got so shy.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like he just got his first job at a restaurant, and it's starting to bring him all out. Now he has to know he has to walk up to a table and talk with them and talk about like specials and stuff, and I think it's really helped a lot.
It does. It does when you're forced to talk to people. It helps a lot, and for him as well, if he's a little bit shy, I would recommend either an acting class or a comedy class.
Yeah, maybe.
a lot of people take the comedy classes here.
There's even
just-
Toastmasters,
Sure.
which teaches you how to public speak and write a speech.
Right. Well, that's where I'm going. Yeah, a lot of people take the classes just so they can for public speaking.
Yeah.
They're not looking to get into comedy. A lot of them don't even do it after. They just
right.
When I did improv years ago, the majority of people were there to get out of their comfort zone. One guy, he worked for Merck,
Right.
and he was getting a promotion, and he knew he was going to have to speak at board meetings, and he just did it to get out of his comfort zone. And a lot of them do that. That this person decides, well, I'm gonna be a teacher. Everything's gonna be okay. I'm terrified. Like that's another thing. Like same with you. I was always so shy. Like I can make I hang out with my buddies. Like I can make them all laugh. But if there was a girl I found attractive, I was like not deathly afraid, but it's intimidating because I always see myself as the funny guy. And in high school, there was a girl I sat next to for like 3 of the 4 years in a class. I had such a crush on. This girl was just gorgeous.
Right.
And when she found out I didn't have a date for the prom, she's taking one of my friends, and she was like, "You're not going to the prom?" I was like, "Nah, I couldn't get a date." And she's like, "I'll go with you." I'm like, "Oh, will you go with him?" She's like, "I'd much rather go with you."
Oh, there you
Wow.
Nice guy. But it was like, it was too late. But the thing is that you don't have that confidence.
Yeah.
And the same thing. Then they think that, like you're saying,
Yeah.
this guy's weird. Why is he always looking at me? Not knowing that it's
Right.
because the guy.
It's this face. I can't explain
Yeah.
it. Like he'll just be like this, and also he'll go.
It's that deer in a headlight, and,
Yeah.
you know,
What's a good
I know
example
it.
of that?
I've had it.
You ever see the movie Superbad?
I did.
There's a part where the girl is flirting with I forget Michael Cera's name in it, but she's like, "Hi, do you have it?" He's like, "Here you go," and she goes, "So are you going to?" I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. And he goes, "Bye," and he like turns on his heels and walks away. Like he's terrified of talking because he has such a crush on her.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
she
Been there
looks
many
like-
times.
She like looks, but he walks. I said, "It's a nice bye." Bye.
I am going to point out that Gina sent this over. So she's really
Gina sent it
she's
over.
really stalking you now. She's,
But that's from the bank.
it's-
I did a commercial for Dime Savings Bank. They asked for people that business people, and I've
Yeah.
been with Dime since I got my first bank
since they
account.
were a nickel.
Yes.
But
Before them watches.
Wow.
so I don't know where she found that, but
well, yeah, there's no messing with Gina. Let me tell you.
well,
Let's see what this.
well, I appreciate that, Gina. Thank you.
My name is Frank Fiella. I work for Keller Williams Greater Nassau. I have been as a real estate agent for 7 years. I primarily specialize in residential real estate. I've been in Merrick for 48 years. The best part about being in Merrick is that it's a real community. I've owned businesses in this town. In addition to being a real estate agent, I was a volunteer fireman with the North Merrick Fire Department, and I've really gotten to know everybody. Yes, I bank at Dime Community Bank. Through the years, I've tried other banks. I've been to the big banks, but I've come back to Dime because I'm not just a number or a client or a certain amount of money in my account. They've always treated me the same, no matter how much money was in the account.
Which is
When
usually
I walk
none.
in,
So.
I'm greeted. They know who I
Big
am.
C
And
at
it's
Merrick.
just wonderful. People
Colin, really tall
waving
kid.
to you and saying hello. And whenever I have a problem
Ted
or an issue, which is very rare, and it's never a banking issue on their part, it's usually a transaction that didn't go quite right or something that went wrong, they're always willing to help me find the problem and handle it. Dime is the best bank I have ever dealt with. I highly recommend Dime.
Not only
Community
is
Bank.
this like heart wrenching, like it was beautiful, but it was I think the longest commercial I've ever seen.
Well, they don't show it on television. They show it in the bank
They
on a
take
loop.
snippets of,
Yeah.
okay.
They show it on a loop in the bank.
Oh, do they? They show it on a loop?
Yes.
So do you get residuals? or
I
something
don't.
for that?
No.
Oh, what the hell? Well,
no,
how
as a matter
great
of fact,
is Dime then?
Matter of
How
fact,
great
I
are
get
they?
hit with the overdraft fee. They don't even waive that.
Wow.
That's funny.
Yeah. So Gina's there's no messing around with Gina,
well,
man. She's coming after. She's checking.
Well, you know
out
what?
the-
Gina may want to think about coming over to Keller Williams. I'd love to talk to her about coming over and working over at Keller Williams.
Oh, how do you like that?
When you retired, was it was it also like the fact that you're breaking a routine you did for 20 years?
Yes.
Like, right? That's got to
Yeah,
be.
my day was fairly structured.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, obviously they told you when you were going to have lunch. You had to stand roll call. You had to get out to patrol, and I mean, you didn't always get your lunch at the right time because you never knew what was going to occur.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
But
when you're
yeah,
working 7 to 4.
everything was structured. Well, as a sergeant, it was a little bit more structured because I
Yeah.
didn't have to answer the radio runs. We call them radio runs, the calls, as much. If they were in backlog and had a lot of jobs, you'd pick some stuff up. But
Yeah.
so it was a little bit more of a routine, and it was very structured because I do roll call, and I was in charge of the rookies. It was called Impact in Times Square. So we would send them out, and I would send them out, and I would a little later I'd go out. You'd have to scratch the book to make sure that they were on their post. Then I would go do my community visits, visit with some of the business people in the neighborhood, make sure everything was going well. Then I would go back out, scratch them again, make sure they were where they were, make sure they were answering their assignments and calls and doing what they were supposed to. Then I'd have my lunch. Then you go back out one more time to make sure, because now it's around 2 o'clock. We're getting come in at 4 o'clock. You make sure everyone is still where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because cops are like cattle; they'll wander.
Yeah,
And it's understandable. You stand on a foot post all night. It gets boring.
Yeah, you can't bear it anymore.
You do tend to wander a little bit. I mean, I did it as well as a
But
cop.
you also
so-
soldiers at the same time. Like you have a
Yeah.
post that there's a chain of command, and you have
Right.
orders that you have to follow. Yeah.
Right. But you try not to, as a sergeant, you try not to be such a stickler. You got to give
Yeah.
people a little bit of leeway and
Yeah.
the ability to make some of their own decisions. Even though now, as I was getting out, the job was, like I said, that was about 8 years ago. The job was starting to change over. Everything was put on the sergeant. They didn't want the cops making decisions. Like, oh, call the boss, let him make the decision. And as a sergeant, you can
Yeah.
call the lieutenant, and he's just going to tell you to make the decision. If the best rank to be in the job was lieutenant, because if anything went wrong, the captain went to the lieutenant, said handle it, and the lieutenant came to the sergeant and said fix it. So you really had no. That was the best place to be. But I ended up as a sergeant, and then I got out.
Yeah.
So.
My dad had he was a sergeant in Queens. He had the Shea Stadium.
Oh, nice.
So he loved that.
Yeah,
And
that's a nice
so,
detail.
And he really liked all the people that he worked with. But it was just, it was the same thing. Like I was just thinking when you said he'll be given a problem, and he's to and he told a story one time where something was going on in the community where people are saying, "Oh, it'd be nice if the officers, showed." That they got along really well or something. So he was just reading it at roll call, and then he went out to do that last patrol, and 2 officers actually waited for him to come by, and they waited till they saw him, and then they grabbed each other's hands and skipped across the road. And he's like, "I'll just."
That's always cool.
He
to
loves
see
stuff
also.
like that.
When they every now and then when they have someone will share on Facebook an officer's last roll call. Or the last time they
I've seen that.
Because it's got to be. It's like I know the day that I retire, it's good. It's got to be emotional.
It is, but here's what happened for me when I retired. I did 15 years in the 7-7 precinct, which was the Bed-Stuy Crown Heights section.
Yeah,
and that was truly my home. It was Brooklyn North. Now it's all gentrified, but back then it was the second deadliest precinct in the city.
Wow.
And it was probably really the deadliest because it was only about 2 square miles.
Yeah,
and
it
the
was
7-5 was really
between the
7-5 is always
New York,
always has the most, but it's also the biggest because it runs from the Belt Parkway all the way up to Ridgewood, Queens.
Yeah.
So obviously there's more people there. So you really worked with you were down in the grit and the dirt and homicide was
right. And that's
a shooting a night was not uncommon.
Wow.
Right.
That's also on the back of the Crown Heights.
The riots,
and stuff. Yeah.
I was still in the academy for those,
yeah.
but that was that actually started in the 7-1 precinct, which is right on the other side of Eastern Parkway. But it's all the same; it rolls over into yours. So when I retired, I was in Midtown South, but I was only there for 2 years, and they were great cops, and they were very welcoming, and I felt like I belonged there. But it would have been a lot more emotional had I retired from the 7-7.
Right.
Just because I was there for so long and I knew everybody, for 15 years. And it was always funny because it was such a it was called an A house because it was just so busy. And they always said it was the kind of place that you don't work there more than 2 or 3 years because you get burned out. What happens is you work there 2 or 3 years, now you get comfortable.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's why I was there for 15 years until I got promoted. If I didn't get promoted, I would have just finished out my career there.
And you shouldn't be comfortable with a murder a night, it's tough,
it is funny that the stuff that you just get yourself used to,
Yeah.
Right.
Mark White is asking, what do you think about all the shitty treatment cops are getting now?
Well, I mean that's exactly it. They're getting shitty treatment. They have no backing. The politicians are definitely against them. And it's horrible. It's horrible to go out and try to do your job when they don't want you to. And if you don't do it, they're going to say, "Why didn't you do it?"
Absolutely.
So
right.
you're really stuck between a rock and a hard place.
All right.
Also, you want when you leave for work, you want to come home alive. You have families too. Like, how many want to do anything on the job that's going to jeopardize their life or their future anyway? Like it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else. I never actually consciously thought about, as I walked out onto patrol, saying this could be my last day. You don't really focus on that. You don't really think about it, but in the back of your mind, it could be.
Yeah.
But I always did what I was. I at least I think I did. I always did my job. I did it as best I could.
Yeah.
And I tried to give when I could. I gave people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I mean, with school shootings, people say, "Oh, I don't know how you." Same thing. I don't think about going into work and thinking that a kid could could do it. Could do it too. We have drills and stuff anyway.
Right.
And a kid asked me this year, like we did a regular lockdown drill, and kids have to be silent, and everything's over. And one kid was like, I was like, don't worry. I was like, you'll be fine. Kid, he came from Ecuador, and he was like, oh, he's like, why do they do this? I said, well, just in case. It's always better to be. He's like, oh, what would you do? I was like, first of all, I was like,
I'd push you out of the way and run out.
yeah. I was
Like George Costanza.
I was like, you're my shield.
I was just going to say, I'm going to use you as a shield.
Yeah. No, but I was like,
right.
but it was the same thing. Like, I would like to think that I would protect them because I have a wife and kids too. Like, I want to go home, but at the same time, like, I'm not a policeman. But like, I would think in my mind, like, my first reaction would be to protect the kids and do whatever.
Your instincts kick in, and you here's the thing. We always we always say, what would we do if, and we never know.
Right.
I always
So
like to believe.
Right.
I like to believe that if something were going on, like was it down in Florida where they said that deputy stayed outside while
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I like to believe that I would not have done that. That I would have run in. I would have did what I could, whether I was armed or not.
Right.
Right.
I don't. For whatever it's worth, I don't carry my gun off duty, and I never carried it off duty. I don't carry it now, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't run towards it.
Right. I think it's a paternal instinct too of these are kids, and also the reality is if there was this kid's 12 or 13 years old, I think I could kick his ass
if you
can
get
the joke. I'm making a joke, Tony.
Yeah.
But it's also thinking that too, that like whatever would happen, like I'd rather know, I'd rather whoever survived know I died giving it a shot, trying that, not
yes. Like those guys on the train in France. Remember the soldiers with that?
Right. Yes.
Or Flight 93. The guy was like, let's roll. Like,
it still just boggles my mind how that it's even a discussion talking about school shootings, having to do drills.
Yeah.
Just that alone is
right. But I remember the air raid drills where they put you on the hallway with your jacket over your head, because that's really going to protect you from.
But that's what I kind of equate it to, is that when people say, "Oh, my kid, they had to have a lockdown drill." Yeah, but I try to compare it to my parents' generation. My parents are 70. Like, compared to them, where they had to hide under their desk.
Right. Yeah, but that was from a threat of a foreign country bombing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
This is, which never happened. This is more real. This is something that could unfortunately happen at any minute, in any school.
But I still think
Anywhere.
that was a nationwide fear.
The Walmart.
I still think that was a nationwide fear that they really did believe at any second. I think it was not fear mongering, but I think it was a time where everyone did actually believe this could happen.
Well, remember, I mean, look what we did. You saw the effects of what the bomb did to Japan, and now people. And listen,
and even in Russia the other day.
Not getting into too much politics,
plant,
but fear mongering and stuff is what keeps people.
Yeah, last week, the end of last week, or early this week, they said it was an ammunitions plant that backfired, and then it turns out it was a nuclear.
Yes, I saw that.
Weapons, but they evacuated this town, and then a couple of days later, they told them again, you can't return yet. They had another couple thousand people.
Oh,
what was it? What was it in Russia too? Probably 20, 30 years ago. The
Chernobyl?
Yeah, that's it.
Like 3 Mile Island.
Caught fire and
right.
Yeah.
That's you can't live there. It's all.
There were remnants of that hitting Washington State, for crying out loud.
They said somebody was saying the other day that there's parts of France that you still can't go near because of World War I and II.
Really?
Well, I don't know why you'd want to go to France anyway, but
I like the croissants at BJ's over
here.
There you
go. Yeah. So what's the comedy world like? You find how long have you gotten into it now?
Comedy is what are we about? I think January's when I took the class. So it'll be 5 years that I took the class. March will actually be 5 years that I graduate. March of 2020.
Enjoying it?
I do. Obviously, like any other comedian, I like to perform more.
Yeah.
So I do what I can to get out there. I have a show coming up Wednesday with Teddy Smith and Taking Chances Comedy at the Broadway or the Greenwich. Hope I go to the right club. And then on the 25th, I have a show at Kid
You're doing a fundraiser.
Yeah, Kid and Cadoodle Cat Cafe out in Selden. They just opened up and they're raising money because they do pet rescue and you can adopt some cats there as well. And then I think we have some shows coming up with Knock 'em Dead.
Yes, you do.
I know I started to fill out the calendar for you.
Oh, good.
And that's it. I'm actually heading out to Texas in September to do Bikers
see
Against
Mark White?
Bullying. To who?
To see Mark White.
One of
I don't know
our
who that is.
Mark White, one of our listeners, dear friend. He lives in Houston.
Oh no, I'll be in just outside of Dallas in
Fort Worth?
no. It'll come to me.
That place.
Cleburne?
No. I want to say Gaston, but I don't know if that's the right place. Jasper, I don't know.
But what are you doing there?
They're doing a comedy show. It's Bikers Against Bullying, and they're raising some money, so I'm going to be doing some comedy out there.
How'd you get involved in that?
My buddy John, we worked both EMS together, and we were cops together in the 7-7. He lives out there now, and he's got the Mad Radio show. It's a great show, and he's involved in a lot of fundraisers stuff with military and suicide prevention, and he's obviously a biker. He belongs to some of those law enforcement biker gangs. No, they're not gangs, but they're clubs. And so he asked me if I'd come out and perform.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. Very nice.
So,
Wow.
and I enjoy it. Listen, I just love performing.
So now you can say you're traveling the whole country.
Yeah, I'm a road comic now.
Nice. Very nice.
So I go from Merrick to Selden to Texas and back to Merrick. It's a triangle.
All right. Mr. Sharon.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Will Sharon
Uh-oh.
hangs out with us regularly. He's one of our dear friends here. He's part of our family.
Thank you.
Countless times quoting movies all the time, especially yesterday.
Well, I have to say,
Do you? You have to say?
yeah, people would text me yesterday, oh, it was so funny. I said, but what though? I was like, Eric and Tony said, I was like, it's so easy to play off of them because it's like, I've only been on the show a couple times, but we're already in each other's minds.
Which
You know
is very
what?
scary.
Sorry to
Helps.
interrupt you guys. I just remembered this morning I looked at Facebook. You know what today is?
Oh,
yeah.
Elvis.
No.
Oh, yes.
Tequila Day, right?
It's me and
Well, that
Will's
too.
Facebook.
Hang on a second.
Oh, it's your friend anniversary? Oh.
Me
Also,
too. Me
'cause
too.
No.
He called me a happy stack of pancakes.
That's right.
Yeah.
A big, beautiful stack.
Right, not
of
even a
pancakes.
short stack.
Yeah.
Really?
Jeff Bosey says Frank Falia is such a genuinely nice guy and glad to call him a friend. He has helped so much.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate
Wow,
that.
how do you
Jeff's
like
a good
that?
guy. He's a new comic. He's up
a
and
nice
coming.
guy.
He's
Jeff-
a very good comic.
Jeff is definitely feeling the love. He actually sent us an email this morning telling us how great our show is. He
Okay,
did.
ready?
I wonder if that's him now. You're on the Knock 'em Dead Comedy Radio Show. Who's this?
Hey, it's Joey Petroni. How are you?
Hey, Joey Petroni. What do you say?
What's up, man? I'm actually I'm here. I just don't know how to get to
Oh,
you
is
guys.
that why you were saying I'm here? I didn't know why. I didn't. Did we know? Oh, all right. Hang on. I'll let you in. But I saw something more with Will. I didn't know Joey.
That's right. It's the
You
1
guys
year
know Joey
anniversary
Petroni?
being on the show.
I think I met him once.
It's the
Yesterday, yeah.
42nd anniversary of Elvis dying at the age of 42.
Oh, yes.
Would have been 84.
Yeah, he was young, huh? You don't realize how young he was until you pass that 42 age. You're like, wow, he was pretty young. Joe, you still on the phone?
Yeah. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Go around back and like
Which
right
one?
in between the Dairy Mart and the building, kind of walk through there, and then
Follow the
and then
bacon
just
smell.
bang on the back door.
That's probably the first time a woman ever told you to
great-
come around back, huh?
Come around
The gray-
back,
the gray door?
baby. Just knock
The
real
gray
hard.
Yeah. By the coat rack.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
Oh, Joey's
See you
here.
soon.
The coat tree. That's what
Yeah, so Elvis was taking those diet pills. What were they?
cocaine.
Yeah, well, that one too.
Speed. He was on speed.
Hey,
and
Joey, how are you?
amphetamines.
What's going on, Frank?
All is well.
Hey, Joey, how you doing?
How are you? This mic. Been a while.
He doesn't have a chair.
I know he doesn't have a chair, but we only have a few minutes anyway. No, we only have 10 minutes anyway.
Yeah, you want me to get up?
No, it's cool.
You sure?
Yeah, no.
Just move down, yeah, so we can all see Joey. Joey, what do you got going on, man?
Not much. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
You can lift that up.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's cool. Go ahead, lift it up. Yeah, there you go.
And then just move a little bit closer to us. You could kind of swing
Yeah,
it
can I
in,
just
just so you're in the
Move
Move a
camera.
little bit closer now.
Did I
Don't
just
be
crash?
shy. That's
Just
the old.
come a
Yeah,
little
but
closer.
that's cool. We like
I said,
surprise
that's the old
guys.
Dentine commercial.
is
Move a
great.
little bit closer now. Don't be shy. But I'm showing my age here.
Nice. All right.
Remember the clarets where the guy's like, I take a claret. Hello, my little babushka.
Cool, thanks.
All right. So we got an Islander fan here, man. That's awesome. I'm an Islander fan.
How are ya?
Huge Islander fan.
I'm Sally.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
So-
to meet you, Sally.
and you guys-
Tony. And Frank. I know Frank, right?
You know Frank.
Yes, we met.
Good to see you.
I don't remember where, but yes, we've met.
And you know, this is Will. You know Will?
No, I don't know
Will, Frank,
Nice
Joey,
Yep.
Joey, Will.
We're instant friends, man. We're both going through the same thing with this Barclays crap, right?
Yeah, you know what? I don't get the people that are complaining about
Right.
Belmont.
No, that's cool, man. Belmont's going to be awesome.
Why? Because it's back to Long Island? Is that what
Yeah,
you
people in one town are complaining that that kids, people tailgating. My kids shouldn't have to witness that. I don't know how many people live on Hempstead Turnpike.
What?
That they witness tailgating in front of Belmont.
You mean the horror?
The horror of tailgating.
Oh my God, the
Yeah.
sin that goes. What does that mean? What's wrong with tailgating?
I can tell you some tailgating stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I've
you
had some of
know,
the
but-
best times of my life
But
tailgating.
I don't even. I mean, other than Saturday games, which is maybe 2 a month. I can't tell you how many real tailgating parties go on.
I got to be honest with you, I don't go to a lot of hockey games, but when I do, I've never, ever seen anybody in the parking lot tailgating.
It's not like a giant going to
It's
a
not like
Giants
going
or
to
a
a Giants
Jets
game.
game
Sure,
or a
right,
Mets
right.
or a Yankees game.
Right.
Or like a Jimmy Buffett
Right.
concert,
Right.
you know, at Jones
But
Beach
so
or
what?
something.
So what if it
Or
is?
the Dead.
And,
Who
yeah, and
cares?
even still,
people
as
just
long
having
as-
fun. There's
as
no
long as
different
you're
than a
having
party.
fun and you're not
I
drinking
think it was
and
just one of the
driving
excuses to try to get it not going there. But like
Stupid.
But I've seen people drunk in the streets when Belmont Snakes is going. Belmont Snakes.
Absolutely
is,
right.
Right.
If people are going to drink in a parking lot, they're going to do it regardless.
Right.
Exactly.
So they're going to outlaw tailgating. All right. So
Oh.
these people are just going to sit in their car.
Right.
Right.
And have a couple.
Well, that's
beers.
what happens at,
I used to do that.
at the Met games because that's Parks Department property. So,
Yeah.
Right. they if you're out there outside your car drinking, I don't know. I don't really
Yeah.
tailgate at the Met. I'm a Yankee fan, but I don't go to too many Met games anyway. But I've never. I remember I went a couple years ago, and I was still on the job actually, so it was more than a couple. And the sergeants were driving around and telling guys to write summonses, and
Right.
you had
Yeah.
to sit in your car and drink.
But
Well,
I think also-
that's, with the Mets though, it should be allowed. Like it should be encouraged.
Yeah,
because
you-
we're Met
you
fans,
have to-
man. You got.
I'm a Jets fan, so yes. So-
It helps you get
so-
through the game, man.
Absolutely.
Exactly. It helps. Yeah, especially as a Met fan, you need
Well,
it.
not now.
But
Things
also,
are going really well.
But also,
Yeah.
if you
It's
have an
heading
open
back down.
container,
Yeah.
they're most of the time they're pretty cool. If you have a red Solo cup, I mean, everybody.
Well, that's the
kinda
whole
knows-
idea, you know.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's a day where they really are. It's a big game and they're worried about there being fights, like if it's a division rival
Right.
or whatever. I mean, most of the time they're pretty late.
You got to get a van like me where you pull the shades down. You got a bed in the back, and you and your wife can hang out,
Whoa.
throw on the
Right.
pregame show.
It's not
drink
an
a few
unmarked
glasses of
white
wine.
van, is it?
No, it's out in the parking lot.
It's got painted clowns on the side.
She's back there now waiting for him. What the fuck you doing in here?
Yeah, she's drinking wine behind Tri-County Flea Market. I'm gonna buy her some jewelry after this.
There you go.
and a spray paint T-shirt of the two of your faces that
Right,
look
right.
like you guys.
Yeah.
Bonnie Scalisi's all excited to see you. She says, "Joey was in my comedy class." She said,
Yes, Bonnie, man, we go way back. Yeah.
"Yeah." Are you now? Same
people.
thing. You're out there? You got gigs? What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I've been doing a lot of DJing, and so I do stand up while DJing a lot.
There you
during
go.
dinner time and stuff. I
And
mix
you're
them.
standing up now.
I mix
so
my
there you go.
I mix my two worlds together.
Two worlds collided.
Two worlds collided. But yeah, I do stand up anytime I can. And I've been at Governor's a few times
Nice.
last year, and I'd love to
Okay.
come back.
Sure.
Always writing, always coming up with stuff.
Nice.
And things that actually happen to me that are funny. I own my own landscaping company.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys know that.
didn't.
I'm on my way out. There's a lot of liability in that,
I can imagine.
because I got guys working for me.
Nice.
So one of the guys this morning ran out of gas in the lawnmower. Instead of calling me because he knew I'd smack him in the head, he siphoned gas out of the customer's car.
No
to
way.
No way.
But he got caught on the Ring camera.
Right.
So
Why
So
didn't you
I-
just take it out of the truck?
I don't know.
You're gonna siphon gas. Take it out of your own
Out of
truck.
your
and
own
just goes to
truck.
gas.
No, the driveway goes behind the house, so the car was back behind the house. I guess he just figured no one's going to see him. But they have that Ring spotlight app.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got the video sent to me. I didn't even get a phone call. I just got a video sent to me and my buddy doing that. But so it's a lot of liability, So now I got to.
So can we go live on the air, and make the call to tell that guy he's fired, or what?
No, I'm gonna keep him. It's hard to get work, man. He won't do it again.
Wow. He won't do it again.
Take the
after I get
$20
through
out of his pay to fill up the lady's car. He won't
In a weird way, I feel like he did the right thing. He finished the job, He didn't get caught.
it. Right.
Technology,
next time
technology is the problem.
Right. Right. His ingenuity was great. It's
Damn
technology.
You notice I'm not mentioning his name, right? I got a couple.
Good old
guys
days, you
working-
can steal gas.
Yeah, the
Right.
good old days.
Back
man.
in the day.
Everybody's complaining about the price of gas, man. I just go around siphon. That's how I get my boat out on the water. But,
Bonnie says you do a funny bit where you bring home a couch that someone is throwing out, and your kids are thrilled because now they have pet mice.
Yeah, well, that's a bit, but it's actually the true. A lot of my bits are true stories.
Yeah.
A lot of my house is furnished by garbage night. And it's mixed matched all over the place. By bringing home, I clean it up.
I just picked up a
paint
couple
it.
of dressers on the way here, so I
Well, it
hear
wasn't
you.
somebody's
Yeah.
garbage; it was a garage sale.
Yeah, it was
There's
a
a little
garage
bit of a
sale.
difference.
But
a little
That's
bit.
still somebody's
why
garbage,
not?
by the way.
Well, true.
Yeah, I mean, dressers are expensive. I got like 2 dressers for $75.
This one couch actually did have mice in it, and
Oh, really?
The joke was that I went out and got a tank and put the mice in the tank, and they lived for about 2 weeks, and they died, and my kids were begging me to go out and get another couch.
That's great.
That's the joke.
That's
but,
funny.
But it's a true story, man.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get when you take someone's furniture home.
That's true. That's totally true.
All right, so getting back to Will, we were talking to Will a minute ago. With all your movie quotes, you're a movie. What would you call yourself? A movie fanatic or just a movie?
A guy with a lot of free time that refuses to spend it with his wife and kids.
Oh, well.
No, I don't refuse. I'm just,
All
I
right,
tell
so-
jokes. In case they're listeking, I had to have that disclaimer.
Put
that
together.
I am happily married.
He's not like backpedaling quick.
Right.
I love you, honey. I love you, honey.
I
Gotta get some flowers at
To
7.
use a hockey term, a save and a butte.
Yeah.
So I've prepared some movie quotes.
Okay.
You're gonna tell me what movie they're from, and anybody can join in. Anybody if they want to just join in.
Okay.
All right, and then you guys watching too. All everybody watching there too. Okay. Some of them are easy. Some of them are hard. Okay.
I don't know that movie.
I don't know that movie.
All right, Mr. DeVille, I am ready for my close-up. Name the movie.
And they're all movies, right?
What's that?
They're all movies.
It's
Yes,
Gloria.
movies.
It's Gloria Swanson, but also you could say it was Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh,
Because he goes, I'm ready for my
that's
close.
good.
I feel like Gloria Swanson. You look like her mother. Ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille.
There you go. See, I knew you'd know it.
But it's Gloria Swanson. I think it's Sunset Boulevard. I could be.
You would be correct.
Okay.
A boy's best friend is his mother.
Psycho.
Wow. Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
That would be Gordon Gekko, Wall Street. That's an easy.
Even I knew that one.
I knew that
Oh,
one.
you guys feel free to
No,
chime
I
in.
don't know any of the answers. Otherwise, I would.
Neither do I. I'm horrible at this stuff.
If it ain't Roadhouse, I don't know it.
We were talking about
I
Roadhouse
love that.
yesterday.
My favorite movie.
Your favorite movie?
We
All-time
spent 10
favorite
minutes
movie.
talking about Sam Elliott.
Oh my God, best character in that.
What's going on, mijo?
Maybe I should kick your ass. The best line is, "You killed Jimmy. Hell, you killed all my boys."
I like though. I was saying.
I just
Eric,
like your impression.
I was like when I was telling Eric when Sam Elliott dies, the coroner should just say it was tails.
Right.
That should be the only thing on his death report.
You know, there's actually a out in L.A. They have not Broadway, but they have a stage rendition of Roadhouse.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I came
Oh.
across the backstage. And I was like, "Oh, I'm applying for that." And I was out in L.A., so I couldn't do it. But
It's funny though because Jeff Healey plays "Traveling
Yes.
Band" by CCR.
Right.
I don't even think he plays like 2 or 3 songs in, and none of the songs are his.
that's right.
And he
Yeah,
has
Roadhouse
great
Blues, he did.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or had, yeah.
What, when it's on the stage, what is it? Did they turn it into a musical?
No, I don't think it's a musical. They
thank
just
God.
made it a play. But I don't
Wow.
know exactly how they did it. But if it
Yeah.
ever came around here, I definitely either would audition and definitely go see it.
That's
Because
funny.
it's my. I once watched it twice a day. It was on like the Country Music Channel and
Yeah.
HBO. I once watched it twice a day for like
Movie's so good.
7-10 days in a row.
How about
every time
"Yes,
she came
you
home,
did."
every time she came home, it was the Roadhouse
Yeah.
was on.
Just to sidetrack for a
Sure.
second, you mentioned there was an off Broadway play at Roadhouse. The UCB there was a group that used to do a show where it was Point Break, and they used to pick somebody out of the audience to play the role of Keanu Reeves because the whole theory was that so they knew the scenes word for word, but the whole thing was how Keanu Reeves was such a bad actor
Yeah, it wouldn't
that
matter.
literally anyone in the
Anybody
audience
could
could
do.
play his role and not know the lines.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Make up the lines, and it would be just as effective as Johnny Utah.
Interesting.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that. No wire hangers ever.
Oh, that's
yeah,
Mommy
Mommy
Dearest.
Dearest.
Yep. Here's another easy one for you. I am serious and don't call me Shirley.
Airplane.
Airplane.
Yeah, love that movie.
Or Whack Family Reunion.
That's right. Little inside Knock 'em Dead comedy joke for you. My mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
That would be James Cagney.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow,
Realistic.
you really
But
do.
But
have
that's
a lot of
Dude,
get a girlfriend or something.
Is that? But it's Yankee Doodle Dandy, isn't it?
Yeah.
The movie.
Yeah. Wow. Oh yes, the past can hurt, but you can either run from it or learn from it.
That sounds like a Forrest Gump quote.
Sounds like a Jason Mraz song.
I'll give you a hint. It is a movie that is currently playing, but you know it.
Once
Say it
Upon a
again.
Time in Hollywood.
No.
The past can hurt.
I'm going to give it away, but
The past can hurt, but you can use it to. It sounds like a karate
The
or
Lion
like
King.
ninja.
What was it? The Lion
Yeah.
King?
Lion King.
Oh,
Lion King.
That's from this
I got
one?
3 kids.
Oh,
That's from The Lion King. Let's see. If we didn't do what we loved, we wouldn't exist. This is a recent movie.
Sounds like a Mark Twain quote, but
Not even close.
no. Well, Mark
If we
Twain.
didn't do what we loved, we wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen.
I don't know.
Creed 2.
Ah,
Okay. The best love is the kind that awakens the soul and makes us reach for more, that plants a fire in our hearts and brings peace to our minds. And that's what you've given me. That's what I'd hope to give you forever. I just made that up. That's for Will. No, I'm just kidding. No, what movie is that?
No idea.
We're just
Anybody?
sitting here going, "You're gay."
Is that like the?
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Is that what?
The Notebook.
The Notebook is correct.
Wow.
Look at this guy.
Wow,
Look
speaking
at
of
him.
gay, he knows the Notebook.
And I didn't even see the
Just
movie.
saying.
I didn't even see the movie, The Notebook. It sounds like something that would have been in that movie.
You're kidding, right?
I'm
That's
dead
so
serious.
funny.
I've never seen. I am knock 'em dead serious.
He's not, though.
By the way, if you ever want to see the worst movies ever, have my wife pick them out for you.
Oh, my goodness. You're just sitting there minding your own business, and he just picked
Mars Attacks.
She's constant.
Yeah.
That actually wasn't a bad movie.
That was a
or
horrible
the
movie.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Howard the Duck.
Howard
Oh, that was
the Duck.
horrible.
Leah Thompson. She looked good in that, though.
Leonard Part 6.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Tim Robbins is in.
Is he?
Howard the Duck.
I'm still not
He's
over
like
the last
groupie.
Airbender, but
I didn't see that one.
Sometimes I wish I had never met you, because then I can go to sleep at night not knowing there was someone like you out there.
Is that When Harry Met Sally?
No.
A good guess, though.
As good as it, not as good as it gets.
You're on the
Oh,
right
that would be a good.
track.
That would be a good one.
Kind of on the right track.
How to Lose
is
a
it
Guy in 50 Days.
You've Got Mail?
No.
It seems like a
It's not a
Meg
date.
Ryan movie.
No. It's not a date
Sometimes
movie,
I wish I'd never met you.
because then I can go to sleep at night not knowing there
Casino.
was someone like you out there. No.
That love scene in Casino. It was. actually.
Oh, with Don Rickles on the phone?
I'll give you a hint. Robin Williams.
Patch Adams?
No.
Dead Poets Society.
Nope.
Mork and Mindy.
Goodwill Hunting?
this is Deathfire.
Good Will Hunting.
No, there's some
Mork
movies
and
I've
Mindy.
only seen like once that I don't.
I love Good Will Hunting.
I've seen
I love
Goodwill
it.
Hunting. I
Never
think,
saw it.
once.
Really?
I don't watch a lot of movies.
Oh, all right. Life moves pretty fast if you don't stop
Ferris
and
Bueller's
there you
Day
go.
Off, yeah.
All right. Every man dies, not every man lives.
Braveheart.
There you go. I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
That would be Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight.
Wow, this guy's good.
Yeah.
To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people.
Shit.
The actor that said it, we talked about his wife yesterday on the show.
It's not Smokey and the Bandit.
No.
No. No,
Call you
that's
stupid would be an insult to stupid people. What the hell is that? I feel like it's like a Mel Brooks movie or something like that.
It's not, but it's kind of a movie like that, a hysterical movie.
I don't know. I definitely have seen the movie.
It's not Better Off Dead, is it?
No.
No, also
Which
my,
is another,
one of my other
love
favorite
that movie.
movies.
To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people. I feel like I just saw this movie the other day because I know I've heard that line recently.
That's my wedding video. That's our vows.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I have a very short attention span, so ask me the first 5 minutes of any movie.
Right. The opening credits.
Right, the
That's
opening.
it.
I can tell you who's in it, and that's it.
I give
I
up.
can't sit still.
Kevin Kline was the actor.
Okay.
Birdcage.
Fish Called Wanda.
I didn't see that movie.
You never saw Fish Called Wanda, and you call yourself a movie expert?
You'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
What the? All right, last one. Nobody's going to get this. I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
But I'm saying it anyway. And just the same as they was before they was.
Dr. Seuss.
Right? Kind of sounds like
Cat
that,
in the
right?
Hat.
Just
Forrest
the same
Gump.
as they was before they was.
I will give you a hint that I think
Is it-
Sally will get
Is it Mammy from?
No.
What's her name from?
No.
Gone with the Wind.
It's one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies that I talk about often on this show.
Well, Airplane you love.
I should probably tune
but,
in more then.
It sounds like
Unusual Suspects.
No.
it sounds like somebody with a southern accent, just the same as
Family obligations.
Just the
Oh, I
same
should have done that. That would have been funny.
Is
Just
it like
the
a
same
Little
as they was
Rascal
before they
thing?
was.
No. It is not Caddyshack, Jeff Bosey.
Just the same as they was before they was.
Nobody here is getting that.
Trading Places.
Nope.
It's
Sounds
not
like
the
an
guy
Eddie-
from The Green Mile, is it?
No.
The one who had the mouse.
The
One of
Lady
my
Killers.
favorite movies that everybody else says, no way is this movie good.
Oh, you got a handful of those, baby.
Well, I talk about it here often.
do you
I
think?
thought you would figure this out.
I know.
All right, I'm not telling you.
Ha.
Now we're going to have to Google it.
The
Yeah.
Beatles Help.
Oh, it's awful. It's just awful. Anyone see
any
the
Beatle
Beatles?
fans
Help?
here?
Yeah, I've seen
My,
it.
my
What part
daughter's
is
a
that?
huge
You never
Beatle
saw
fan.
it? You
Never
saw Help?
that.
Yeah.
When it's toward the beginning, they're pulling up in front of their house and they're waving to the old ladies, and they say something about how still nice they are and stuff.
Yes.
And,
yes,
and she's
yes,
like,
yes.
"Come on, wave, wave!" Like, okay, oh, they're so nice to wave back. Yeah, they're just the same as they was before they was.
Yeah, I remember now.
Do you like that movie?
No.
I like
no
Help.
one likes that movie.
Yeah.
No.
He said he liked it.
No.
Yeah.
He just wants to be on the show again.
Shilling. He goes like this. He goes. That's actually pretty good. I need my what does he say? My emergency response for my immediate departure.
Up.
Yes.
Up,
yeah.
up.
He's calling you up.
All right, answer me this:
Yeah.
if it wasn't the Beatles and their music was not in it, would it still be a good movie?
No.
If it wasn't
Be
the Beatles,
honest.
so if the soundtrack is taken out,
Yes.
okay,
And the
you
Beatles
look
are
at
not in it.
and
It's
you look
just
at it
four
as
other
just
guys.
a
The
goofy
monkeys.
spy movie.
Yeah, right.
Like if it was Peter Sellers,
Yes.
it would still be a good movie.
Nice.
Yeah,
Thank you, Will.
because it has
Will.
to be a James Bond spoof. So if you're gonna throw in say Peter Sellers or
Right.
someone from that time,
All right.
yeah, I would still think it's a good movie.
Thank you, Will. You're
'Cause
the
it- 'cause-
first person to agree with me.
Because
Me too. This made my day.
Found
what
a
the heck
friend.
is the word? He's like, Kai. Oh, great.
Kylie.
Oh, great Kylie.
Kylie, yeah.
And I like when
Yeah.
when they're fighting and Ringo's like, sa. He's not fighting. And then all of a sudden he goes,
And then they put the paint on him.
yeah. But there's so many like one line, like quick quick jokes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They try to get the ring off him. They with the metal thing, and he falls on the bed.
Yeah.
And then Lennon's like, "What are you doing on the floor?" Because it was in the middle of the night. He goes,
Come, Ed.
yeah. And he goes, "What are you doing on the floor?" "I'm tired."
Yeah.
Slap my ass off.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
well,
oh.
all right, we're out of time. Once again, again quickly, what do you guys got coming up? Any gigs or anything? DJ gig? Anything you got coming? Anything you want to promote?
I'll promote my landscaping.
There you go. That's fine. Go ahead.
Actually, I'll promote DJ Joey Petroni. How's
Perfect.
that sound?
Absolutely.
516-445-3924.
Weddings and
everything.
Everything.
You know, I was told to pick the song for the bride and groom to come in, and I put on Highway to Hell.
You should have did the Divinyls. I touched myself.
That's a good one too. Or another one bites the dust. But yeah, I do weddings. I do everything. You hire DJ Joey Petroni, and we'll do it.
That's a website or?
Oh yeah, just look it up. DJ Joey Petroni. You know,
Okay.
I got a landscaping question for you.
Yeah.
Let's say you just had like this normal front yard, like typical normal, like
opposed to
Long
an abnormal
Island front
backyard.
yard.
Right.
Yeah, just your front yard. And you got like a place over here with flowers and weeds, and a place over here with flowers and weeds, and like underneath the window in front of the house, and it's like all weedy.
All
Ugh.
weedy.
How much would you charge to
Jenner's
have
on the
that
cover.
all
Don't-
like
Don't you love that?
done?
To get rid of the weeds.
Yeah, not like like mowing or anything. I've got
Just like a cleanup.
I've got
right?
a
Yeah.
kid to mow, but like just to like clean that up like twice a summer. How much should I
Oh,
like
twice
ask?
a summer?
Yeah.
Oh, just for cleanups?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe $100 each time.
Nice,
See,
okay.
that's all right. So then we didn't get,
$75 maybe. I don't know
the
how
guy
big your lawn
charges
is.
like $60.
Yeah,
So
75,
I was
60.
like,
Yeah,
oh, that's
60 's
a
not bad.
lot. But then I was thinking, yeah,
Depends on the
it's
size
not
of your
bad.
property. You know, the size of
It's
your.
just basic.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
$60 is not bad.
All right.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Okay. What do you got, Frank?
I have the Broadway Comedy Club next week. 8:30 is the show, and then I have the Kid and Cadoodle Cafe fundraiser in Selden on the 25th. And of course, you can look for me with the Knock 'em Dead comedy.
Excellent. Yep.
Dun, dun.
And Will.
I'll be picking up a new car in the next couple of days.
Nice.
You catch me at PS school.
I'm not performing, but I'm coming here tonight to see Olga Namer. She's headlining tonight in the big room, so I'm going to see her 8:00 show,
Nice.
and then I'll probably swing over to the brokerage and hang out there for a bit too when that show's over.
The brokerage tonight to see Thomas Dale? No, that was last.
Yeah.
That is tonight.
Yeah,
Thomas Dale.
He's
funny.
My friend Carla is. She's on the show
Carla's
too.
on?
Actually, I'll be working with Carla next week at the.
Yeah.
She's funny too.
Yeah, she's cool.
Her and Mike.
We're friends.
Yeah.
Mike was here yesterday.
Yeah,
Working
Mike was here
the
yesterday.
camps,
Yeah. We were supposed to go out yesterday. I was telling Eric. I think I told you too. We were gonna go see Eisenhower Park, which has like the movies outside. We're going to see Smallfoot, but my wife wasn't feeling well when she got home. My son was like, I saw. It's like Bigfoot.
Smallfoot?
It's supposed to be like a
parody?
Bigfoot. Yeah, it's a cartoon,
It's
but
a kids movie, right?
Yeah, but like half my family didn't want to go. My daughter was like, eh.
I was gonna go. Kathy's working tonight to go see Pee Wee's Big Adventure out east. They have the
that movie
that's
is
my favorite
so
movie.
good.
Tell him Large Marge sent you. I love that movie.
And by the way, yesterday we were talking about in Major League when he's like, "Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo." Francis Buxton is the one that says it in Naked Gun.
All right, Buxton.
Anytime I see someone named Fran, it's not for sale, Francis.
He's also the
he's chubby in Teen Wolf
and A League of Their Own. He's the grown
Stillwell
version
Angel.
of Stillwell
yeah.
Angel. Yeah. When he gets hit in the face with the mitt, one of the
You're
best.
gonna lose.
Oh, I love that.
Got him. Tom Cruise, or when he makes out with the chaperone, he's like, "By the way, you were great in The Wizard of Oz."
Yes. All right, lots of great stuff happening at the Governor's Comedy Clubs this weekend. As you heard, Olga Namer's playing Governor's here in Levittown tonight and tomorrow. Sunday is Sunday Night Funnies. In the Little Room this weekend at Governor's in Levittown, Aragona's Comedy Summer Bash featuring Fat Jay, John Patera, Claire Lowell, Steve Belanger, and a whole bunch of others. Charlie Bequette and friends tomorrow night. The Brokerage in Belmore, Thomas Dale tonight. The All-Star Comedy Show tomorrow night. Bat Boy, an evening with Ray Negron is playing on Sunday. And, of course, as we mentioned earlier, you can catch Knock 'em Dead Comedy October 25th at the Brokerage in Belmore doing our 80s-themed high school reunion murder mystery show. McGuire's in Bohemia tonight and tomorrow, DC Benny. And, of course, Sunday Night Funnies on Sunday. Go to govs.com for tickets and their full schedule, everything you need to know about any of the 3 Governor's Comedy Clubs here on Long Island. Great clubs, all the best comedians playing there. And, of course, don't forget their radio station, govsradio.com. Monday mornings and Thursday mornings at 9:30, the Long Island Breakfast Club. Monday afternoons at 1:30, Funny Tank at 6:30, Steve Squared at 8 o'clock. The Work Show with Mike and Pete or Jam, Joe's Acoustic Mondays. Tuesday mornings at 10, Tea Time with Teresa. Tuesday nights at 6:30. Comedians on Football, the big premiere this Tuesday with Steve Belanger. Comedians on Football at 6:30. 8 o'clock, Anthony Rodia with Sorry Not Sorry. Followed by Two Girls, One Mic. Wednesday nights at 7:30, Three's Company. Thursday afternoons at 1:30, Let's Eat Long Island. 7:30, George Gallo and Darren Dillon. Followed by Graz. Limo Talk with Graz on Thursday nights. And, of course, there's us, the Knock 'em Dead Comedy Radio Show. We thank you guys for the hearts, the like, the comments, the support, all the fun, all the support. We appreciate it very much. We'll be back Monday at 11 o'clock. Everybody have a great weekend. Hope you enjoy yourselves. Thank you, Joey, for stopping in. Thank you, Frank.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Will, for hanging out with us a few times this week. Always a great time with you. And everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday at 11. Have a great weekend. See ya.